Chapter 5099. The surrounding people were stunned when they saw the scene. The one who fell was none other than Bailey Baugh. He was an expert of the Middle Great Sage realm of the Middle Great Sage realm. His strength was extremely terrifying. However, he was killed by a single sword strike. More importantly, the one who killed him was a Sage King, a young man. How inconceivable was this? The Heavenly Rock race came back to their senses and roared crazily. How dare you kill him? Do you want to die? Kid, die. I'm going to tear you into pieces. These people's eyes were bloodshot. Lin Xian retracted his sword chi and sneered. How could they forget so quickly? Previously, they had agreed to settle their grudges with one move each. He wasn't as strong as Bailey Baugh, so he deserved to be killed. Are you guys trying to bully me? If you're not convinced, go ahead. Lin Xian waved his hand, not afraid of the Heavenly Rock race at all. The Heavenly Rock race was so angry that they were trembling. The surrounding people were discussing. Yes, they didn't expect the Heavenly Rock race to kick an iron plate this time. This kid's cultivation wasn't great, but his strength was terrifying. He must be a top genius who could fight above his level. Countless voices of discussion rang out. The Heavenly Rock race's faces were cold. They were too careless this time. If they were to make a move again, they would probably be caught by others and become the target of ridicule. However, they were unwilling to let this kid go. Fortunately, just as they were hesitating, another roar came from afar. Who dares to hurt my grandson? Come and die. This voice was filled with endless rage. Thunderclouds gathered in the sky. The Heavenly Rock race had arrived. Many people were surprised and opened up a path for them. The Heavenly Rock race's expert strode over. Grandpa, it's him. He's the one who injured me. A young man with injuries pointed at Lin Xian and said quickly. Beside him was an old man with a head of white hair. However, his figure was tall and straight, and his chi and blood surged into the sky. He was an elder of the Heavenly Rock race. At this moment, his eyes were filled with electricity as he stared at Lin Xian. Young man, how dare you injure my grandson? How do you want to die? Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered. Is your grandson from the younger generation? The elder of the Lei Dong clan snorted. Nonsense, are you blind? Can't you see? Lin Xian sneered. Since he was from the younger generation, then they would fight. He would lose because his skills were inferior. What? You old thing! You want to take advantage of your seniority to attack me? So this was the bearing of the Lei Dong clan. How disappointing. What qualifications does a family like yours have to stand at the peak? Get down here. Lin Xian's voice rang out, and many people were in an uproar. Indeed, this matter should not have been left to the older generation experts. The matters of the younger generation should be settled by themselves. However, both the Skyrock clan and the Thunder Movement clan were very powerful. The others did not dare to say anything on the surface. The old man's face turned cold. What a sharp-tongued brat. However, do you think that you can survive just because of this? I don't care about the others, but this old man is famous for being protective. I'm bullying you today. What can you do about it? Sigh. Some people in the crowd sighed. Indeed, this old man was not ordinary. He was famous for being protective. Moreover, the other party was very strong. He had a nickname, Thunderclap Hands. His palms could easily catch lightning. At the same time, it was as if 10,000 lightning bolts were descending. This Thunderclap Hands could sweep through everything. It was an extremely powerful absolute art. The other party was famous for this pair of palms. Those who went against the other party would end up in a miserable state. Now that the other party was shameless enough to target a young man, the young man was probably in danger. The Toad and the Crimson Dragon were speechless. They had never seen such a shameless person. Today was an eye-opener. Lin Xian snorted. Why? You want to stand up for your grandson? Go ahead and attack. Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. I'll cripple you and hand you over to my grandson for him to torture you for the rest of your life." The thunderclap hands walked out, releasing a terrifying aura. The surrounding people were worried. Although Lin Xian was strong, the thunderclap hands were even more terrifying. Seeing that the battle was about to erupt, a loud voice came from afar, welcoming young master Shi Yuanfeng. The crowd was in an uproar. They were familiar with the name Shi Yuanfeng. This was because he was an extremely terrifying genius. He had a strong physique and unparalleled combat power. He had once defeated 30 top experts in a single day. He had made a name for himself. There were rumors in the world that there were no more than 5 people in the younger generation who could compete with Shi Yuanfeng in terms of strength. Now he was here too? Many people's eyes were shining. They knew that Shi Yuanfeng was also pursuing the Morong Qingqing Dao. Heaven and earth trembled. Even the people of the Thunder Clan looked serious. They were known for their violent strength. However, when they felt this power, their blood was boiling. One could imagine how terrifying this person was. In the distance, a man stepped on the 9 heavens like a god of war. He lowered his head and stared at Lin Xian. "You're Qingqing's man." A cold voice sounded. The surrounding space shattered continuously. At this moment, the surrounding people felt a huge pressure. The Crimson Dragon, Toad, and the others' faces changed. This person was much stronger than the previous ones. Morong Qingqing also frowned. She said coldly, "Shi Yuanfeng, I've already told you everything. Why are you still here? Hurry up and leave." Shi Yuanfeng looked at Morong Qingqing and said, "Qingqing, I won't give up. You'll be mine in the end. Even if Bailey Wup catches up to you, I'll fight him." Not to mention the fact that he was now an ant. Thunderclap looked at this scene and sneered. It seemed that even if he didn't make a move, Shi Yuanfeng wouldn't be able to escape death. The Tianping race also had a sinister look. At this moment, everyone knew that Lin Xian was dead meat. "Who do you think you are? How dare you stand on top of my head? Get down here and talk." Lin Xian didn't even look at him and shouted coldly. The surrounding people went crazy. Does this guy know who he's facing? That's Shi Yuanfeng, the mighty god of war. How dare he scold him? It's over. The last bit of hope in their hearts disappeared. In their opinion, if Lin Xian begged for mercy and had a better attitude, he might be able to keep his life. But now, it would be hard for him to walk out of here alive. "How dare you? Kid, do you know who young Master Shi is?" Someone shouted furiously. The people from the Leidong clan also said coldly, "You're courting death. Why aren't you kowtowing and apologizing?" Even the Tianping race snorted coldly. "Shi Yuanfeng is someone who can compete with our number 1 genius. Do you think you can take it? Little brat, let's see how you'll die this time." Everyone looked at Lin Xian. Even the Phoenix race was silent. It seemed that no one was willing to help Lin Xian. Chapter 50-100. Some people from the Phoenix race even sneered. "Qingqing's man is really arrogant. He doesn't know his place. Does he think he can be so arrogant just because he's a genius? There are differences between geniuses. A top-notch genius can kill him instantly. Just wait, I'll see how he dies." Morong Qingqing didn't say anything else. She knew Lin Xian's strength and wasn't afraid of Shi Yuanfeng. Plus, Shi Yuanfeng was so arrogant that she didn't want to care. Let Brother Xian do it. When the time comes, these people will know who's the laughable frog at the bottom of the well. Shi Yuanfeng descended from the sky. He said, "Kid, I know you're a genius from somewhere and you're standing at the peak. But it's a pity that your hometown is too small. I can destroy your world with one hand. You don't know the strength of a true genius on this continent. Today I'll show you, but after you see it, you'll go to hell." As a top-notch genius, Shi Yuanfeng didn't care about Shi Yuanfeng at all. Lin Xian laughed coldly. "You think too highly of yourself. Don't talk about being a top-notch genius. Even if the princes and princesses stand in front of me. They can't do anything to me. You? Lin Xian shook his head with disdain in his eyes. The surrounding people went crazy. Is there something wrong with this kid? Is there something wrong with his brain? How dare he look down on Shi Yuanfeng? How dare he compare himself with the princes and princesses? Where did his confidence come from? Thunderclap Hand snorted. Stupid thing. Young Master Shi is stronger than me. You can't even beat me, and you want to fight young Master Shi. Don't you know how to write the word death? The people from the Thunder Race sneered. Shi Yuanfeng was able to defeat them previously. The Thunder Race's genius was indeed extraordinary. But so what? Shi Yuanfeng was too powerful. Even Thunderclap Hand wasn't a match for him, let alone this kid. I'm not a match for you? Lin Xian sneered. Come on, old man, I'll kill you in one move. Lin Xian's body emitted a domineering aura. Since Shi Yuanfeng wanted to die, he would fulfill his wish. You! Thunderclap was furious. He was a powerhouse of the older generation who had been famous for a long time. When had he ever been looked down upon by ants? He stared at Shi Yuanfeng as he spoke. Sir Shi, can you allow me to deal with this person? Don't worry, I won't kill him. I will cripple him and hand him over to young Master Shi. Shi Yuanfeng nodded. Then hurry up, I don't have much patience. Thunderclap Hand smiled. Don't worry, one move is enough to settle this. He walked forward with terrifying lightning circling around his hands. He was like the god of thunder. Kid, if you have any last words, just leave them. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Another beam of sword qi appeared in his hand, radiating a piercingly cold aura. The Thunderclap Hand sneered. He reached out with both palms and shattered the void. They blocked Lin Xian's path of retreat. He would not give the other party a chance to escape. Die! Lightning exploded out of his palm, and the power it contained was enough to kill 5 mid-great sages. This was the power of the thunderbolt. It's over. The people of the Thunder Clan sneered. The people of the Heavenly Rock Clan and the Phoenix Clan were expressionless. The others shook their heads and sighed. However, at this moment, another voice came from the sky. It's really over. Go to hell. How is this possible? The Thunderclap Hand's pupils constricted. The voice came from behind him. Is it that kid? He turned his head abruptly and saw a sword piercing towards him. No, he was crazy. How did the other party dodge? Why didn't he know anything? Also, what was with this sword? Why was it so terrifying? At this moment, he was stunned. There was only this sword in his eyes. Everything between heaven and earth disappeared. What kind of sword was this? It was terrifying and fatal. It was as if a great emperor had struck out with a fatal blow. When he came to his senses, the sword light that filled the sky had already disappeared. He realized that his body and soul had been split into 2. Impossible. He couldn't believe it even when he was about to die. He was actually killed by the other party in an instant. Azura sword technique. The third sword. Lin Xian retracted the sword qi. He said coldly, as expected of an old man. He couldn't even block one of my attacks. What a piece of trash. At this moment, heaven and earth became incomparably silent. The people of the Thunder Clan were stunned. Their Thunderclap Hand's elder was dead. He was killed in an instant by a sword. How is this possible? The people who were watching in the surroundings couldn't believe it. This scene was very familiar. This was because the middle-aged man from the Heavenly Rock Clan had died in the same manner. However, this time, the Thunderclap Hand was much stronger than the middle-aged man. However, he was still killed in an instant. After a long while, countless people exclaimed in surprise, "Is this for real? This kid killed the Thunderclap Hand in an instant. Did you see that sword strike just now? What kind of sword was that?" Exclamations could be heard everywhere. Everyone was roaring crazily. Did he succeed again? The people of the Heavenly Rock Clan couldn't believe it. The people of the Phoenix clan were also shocked. Some of the people who were watching the show with a cold smile turned gloomy at this moment. Even Shi Yuanfeng frowned. That sword just now made him feel as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Damn it, this kid is actually not an ordinary person. No wonder he was able to win the heart of Morong Qingqing. However, he was not convinced. He wanted to suppress Lin Fan with his own hands. His eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. However, the people of the Thunder Clan were roaring crazily. They were all kneeling on the ground. They couldn't accept the death of the Thunderclap Hand. These people stared at Lin Xian. However, they were frightened by Lin Xian's gaze and kept retreating. They were just a bunch of ants. Lin Xian couldn't be bothered with them. He turned his head and looked at Shi Yuanfeng. You said that I came from a small place and looked down on me. You even said that you wanted to show me what a real genius is. All right, I hope you won't disappoint me. Shi Yuanfeng's expression was cold. This time, he didn't dare to be careless. He said coldly, Kid, I really underestimated you. I didn't expect you to hide so well. What's your name? My fist doesn't kill nameless people. My name is Lin Xian. Lin Xian? Shi Yuanfeng frowned. He seemed to have heard of this name before, but he couldn't remember where. Humph, I've never heard of you before. However, you're indeed worthy of my attention. The others were also confused. Bailey Wuck and the people of the Phoenix clan also recalled that they seemed to have heard of this name before. However, they really couldn't remember it at that moment. Take out your weapon. You can't break my defense with just a ray of sword energy. Shi Yuanfeng said coldly, You'd better take care of yourself. I hope you can block 3 of my attacks. Otherwise, I'll be disappointed. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a piercing cold light. You're courting death. Shi Yuanfeng was furious. He stomped his feet and rushed over like a mountain. Wherever he passed, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of Lin Xian. He punched out. With Lin Xian as the center, the surrounding void shattered and turned into a black hole. Chapter 5101. Under this punch, that kid would definitely die. Some people shook their heads. They felt that Lin Xian was too careless. However, some people said that it might not be so. Don't forget the Thunderclap Hand from before. That was a sealed space, and that kid could still escape. His speed was too fast. It was almost impossible to kill him instantly. Indeed, after the previous 2 battles, everyone did not think that Lin Xian was a weakling. They all knew that the other party was an expert. So at this moment, they all opened their eyes wide and stared at the other party. They wanted to see what kind of movement technique the other party used, to be able to dodge this punch. But in an instant, they exclaimed and did not dodge. They realized that Lin Xian stood there motionless and had no intention of dodging at all. What was going on? Why didn't he dodge? Was he disdainful of dodging? Impossible. No one could compete with Shi Yuanfeng in terms of physique and strength. There was a possibility that the other party could not dodge at all. In the face of such a powerful fist, all dodging was futile. It seemed that this kid still could not be compared to Shi Yuanfeng. Shi Yuanfeng was also incomparably disappointed. Was he not even dodging? Had he already given up? He originally thought that the other party was a competitor who could exchange more than 10 moves with him. Now it seemed that he was really disappointed. An ant was indeed an ant. He could not give him any hope. Since that was the case, then let's settle it. His fist became even more dazzling. Looking at the fist that was rushing towards him, Lin Xian looked calm. He could not dodge. What kind of joke was this? Shadowless Heaven's net could dodge this punch, but he did not need to dodge at all. Competing with him in terms of physique? When had he ever been afraid? Thinking of this, he stretched out a fist and also blasted forward. Looking at this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. No way. Could it be that he wanted to compete with Shi Yuanfeng in terms of strength and physique? What kind of joke was this? Wasn't this kid an expert in the sword Dao? He should be good at killing with one move and nimbly dodging. Now that he was actually fighting force with force, this was an incomparable disadvantage for a swordsman. He actually used his own disadvantage to compete with the other party's advantage. This kid was really unwise. Boom, boom. Earth-shattering sounds were heard. Everyone thought that Lin Xian would be blasted into a bloody mist. However, they discovered that Shi Yuanfeng's fist had been blocked by another pair of fists. Did this brat do it? Everyone went crazy. Shi Yuanfeng's eyes narrowed. How tyrannical. He felt as though his fist had landed on an ancient mountain. That terrifying power caused his arm to tremble. His opponent actually possessed such strength and physique? While he was in a daze, Lin Xian smiled. Your physique is very strong, but that's all there is to it. His fist suddenly turned into a palm and grabbed Shi Yuanfeng's wrist. Then it smashed into the ground. With a boom, the ground trembled and a deep abyss appeared. Shi Yuanfeng was dizzy from the impact. He shouted angrily and tried to stand up, but what greeted him was a foot. He kicked him in the face. With a bang, he was sent flying and crashed into a pavilion in the distance. There was even a terrifying black hole behind him. You're courting death. After being kicked in the face, Shi Yuanfeng was completely enraged. Countless terrifying runes appeared on his body as he charged forward like a killing god. Sky-rushing divine fist. Shi Yuanfeng's fists opened and closed. At this moment, he did not hold back at all. However, he was being suppressed by Lin Xian. In the contest of physique, Lin Xian was equally bold and his fists were unstoppable. Shi Yuanfeng kept retreating. In the end, there was a boom. One of Shi Yuanfeng's arms was smashed and he was sent flying while vomiting blood. Shi Yuanfeng was defeated. Was he injured? Countless people exclaimed. The people of the Thunder clan were terrified. The people of the Sky Rock clan were dumbfounded. Even the people of the Phoenix clan were stunned. They had thought of countless possibilities, but they had never thought that it would be the situation in front of them. Shi Yuanfeng stood up, his body trembling. It was not that he did not want to fight. It was that the qi and blood in his body had long been shaken, and he could not fight at all. He stared at his opponent. Who are you? Who exactly are you? On the other side, Flawless 100 Miles of the Sky Rock clan had an extremely terrifying light in his eyes as he stared at Lin Xian. The powerhouses of the Phoenix clan were also frowning. Everyone was stunned. The other party had a great background. Lin Xian said, I've said before, my name is Lin Xian. Impossible. I have never heard of this name before. You are so strong. It is impossible for you to be unknown. Tell me your true identity. Shi Yuanfeng roared. He was like an injured beast. If he lost to a nameless person, his Tao heart would be destroyed. He could not accept it. Lin Gongzi, tell me your background. The people of the Phoenix clan also said coldly. They also did not believe that Lin Xian was a nameless person. He could suppress Shi Yuanfeng in terms of strength and physique, but he said that the other party was an ant? They would not believe it, even if they were beaten to death. Lin Xian sighed. My name is really Lin Xian. Of course, you may not have heard of my name. However, you should have heard of one of my titles. What is it? Everyone asked one after another. Lin Wudi. Many people were confused when they heard that. Lin Wudi, oh my God, this kid is so arrogant. How dare he give himself such a title? Is he not afraid of being hunted down by the experts of the world? Those people discussed animatedly. However, the pupils of some of them suddenly shrank. For example, Flawless 100 Miles, Shi Yuanfeng, and the elders of the Phoenix clan. They were all stunned. You are Lin Wudi? This is impossible. The few elders of the Lei Dong clan also roared in horror. The others were confused. Is this person famous? Why have I not heard of him? Since when did such an expert appear in our Yuheng continent? They were very confused. At that moment, a woman from the Phoenix clan exclaimed in surprise, You are Lin Wudi of wholly distant ancient city. The one who was crowned king? Holy Gulf ancient city crowned king? It can't be. This time, everyone came to their senses. How could anyone who could come here be weak? They were all from the clan of the ancients and the peerless sections. Although they were on the Yuhun continent, they also paid attention to the situation on the other continents. Especially some news from Primeval City, they were the first to receive it. At this time, an elder of the Sky Rock clan exclaimed, "Back in Holy Gulf ancient city, 2 people were crowned king in one day. One of them was the Dragon Prince. The other person was said to be Lin Wudi. Could it be that that person is you?" The surrounding people went crazy. Some of them did not know what the crowned king meant, but now they completely understood. The Dragon Prince and the others knew that he was the emperor of the Dragon Clan. How could the other party be weak if he could stand with the emperor? No wonder he could easily kill Thunderclap and suppress Shi Yuanfeng in terms of strength and physique. It all made sense now. Chapter 5102. Lin Xian's strength was shocking, especially after they found out about his identity. Countless people were in an uproar. He was the champion of the crown. He was an existence that was on par with the emperor. Someone said, "Did you know?" There was an even more shocking news. Back then, the Dragon Prince and Lin Wudi, they became the champion of the crown together. Then they had a great battle, and the result was that the Dragon Prince was injured. What? Are you saying that the Dragon Prince is inferior to Lin Wudi? Countless people were dumbfounded. What kind of battle record was that? In the younger generation, he was a supreme existence. The others could only look up to him. The people of the Phoenix race were also dumbfounded. Those people were shocked. Was he Lin Wudi? Now, they finally understood why Morong Qingqing chose to be with him. It turned out that he was so powerful. Many people even started to be jealous. How could Morong Qingqing find such a husband? Their eyes were red. Do you still want to fight? Lin Xian looked at Shi Yuanfeng. Shi Yuanfeng sighed. I lost. He closed his eyes. However, he didn't lose unjustly. His opponent was the champion of the crown, far superior to him. At this moment, he felt extremely miserable. Lin Xian said, "Your physique is very strong, but it's still a little weaker than mine. Also, you didn't lose unjustly. There aren't many people who can compete with you in terms of physique." Shi Yuanfeng was very upset when he heard those words. It was as if his master was praising him. Lin Xian was younger than him, and he couldn't refute him when he said those words. Lin Xian looked at Flawless 100 Miles and said, "You've always been high and mighty. You want to suppress me with one hand? You want to pursue Morong Qingqing? Come, I'll give you a chance to challenge me today." Everyone was shocked. Was there going to be another battle? They all looked at Flawless 100 Miles. This time, the people of the Heavenly Rock race looked extremely serious. They were no longer as relaxed and disdainful as before. The person in front of them was Lin Wudi. He was the legendary champion of the crown. They were the #1 prodigy. Could they completely suppress him? To be honest, they really didn't have the confidence, especially now that they had learned that the other party had even injured the Dragon Prince. This made them even more shocked. They were well aware of the Dragon Prince's strength and trump cards. Even his opponent had been defeated. Flawless 100 Miles was indeed very dangerous. Flawless 100 Miles had a serious expression on his face. "You are Lin Wudi? Originally, I wanted to go to Holy Abyss City to fight you after the matters here were settled. Since you're here, I'll accompany you to the end." Flawless 100 Miles was still not afraid. He walked out, and with each step he took, the mountains shook and the earth shook. His eyes flashed like lightning as he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, "I've defeated you. The title of champion of the championship is mine. Sure, if you have the ability." Lin Xian laughed. "If you lose, you will disappear from Qingqing's sight from now on." Terrifying light burst forth from the two of them as they bombarded their surroundings. The The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Everyone else's bodies were torn apart. Their faces were filled with fear as they quickly retreated. These two people were too powerful. Even a trace of their aura was not something they could withstand. The Phoenix clan leader was also surprised. He waved his hand and said, "Open the battlefield. Go to the battlefield and fight." "Okay." Flawless 100 Miles nodded. Lin Xian also soared into the sky. As an emperor clan, the Phoenix clan had the immemorial battlefield. Such a place was enough to withstand all kinds of battles. The others also followed suit. The immemorial battlefield. Two figures descended. Like two gods of war confronting each other, the heavenly rock spread its wings. Flawless 100 Miles used his ultimate skill as soon as he came up. A piercing cold light scattered. It pierced through the 9 heavens. Then, thousands of rays of light descended together. This was a peerless ability. Light of the demon god. Lin Xian waved his palm, and endless terrifying rays of light pierced through the 9 heavens. He charged forward. The two collided, and an earth-shaking sound was heard. Then he used Shadowless Heaven's net, and his speed reached the extreme. He instantly arrived behind his opponent. Azura sword technique. He stabbed out with his sword. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were shaking. The people outside the battlefield felt their scalps go numb. It was this sword technique that killed 2 experts in an instant. They even guessed that it was very likely to be an emperor-level sword technique. Facing this sword technique, the people of the Heavenly Rock clan also became nervous. However, Flawless 100 Miles was still not afraid. A golden phantom appeared behind him. It was the phantom of a heavenly rock. It spread its wings and flew with terrifying power. Its wings swept and blocked the sword light, and an earth-shattering sound was heard. In the next moment, Flawless 100 Miles turned his head, and an extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. The immemorial mirage behind him transformed into sharp claws and swiped at Lin Xian from all directions. "Our Heavenly Rock clan can slay dragons, let alone kill you." Flawless 100 Miles' voice was sonorous, and his sharp claws pierced through the void. He grabbed at Lin Xian's head. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the demon god seal was released. This palm had the power to shatter the heavens and the earth. It was really too terrifying. The people outside were terrified. If they were to face this palm, they would probably be instantly turned into a bloody mist. It was another shocking attack. The sharp claws were shattered, and the demon god charged at the heavenly rock phantom with indomitable will. Flawless 100 Miles' expression changed. He spread his wings and used his extreme speed to dodge instantly. He came to a distance. His expression was incomparably cold. In the collision, he was actually at a disadvantage. Impossible. The people of the Heavenly Rock clan gritted their teeth and roared. They really could not believe it. Could it be that Flawless 100 Miles was going to be defeated? If that was the case, they were afraid that they would not be able to accept it. Lin Xian said, "If you have any ultimate moves, use them all. Otherwise, you are not my opponent at all. What you are using should be an emperor's divine ability, right? I didn't expect you to have such a fortuitous encounter. No wonder you can compete with the Crown Prince. However, don't underestimate me. Although I don't have an emperor's divine ability, I have an extremely powerful bloodline. Moreover, my bloodline is the ancestral bloodline. Now, I will let you see the power of my bloodline." Flawless 100 Miles' eyes shone with an extremely terrifying light. Then, endless blood-colored runes appeared on his body, and an extremely powerful force surged out. The phantom behind him became extremely terrifying. There was actually flesh and blood on it. Countless people saw the scene. They were incomparably terrified. Heavens, what is Flawless 100 Miles trying to do? Is he trying to summon an ancient heavenly rock? They were shocked. In between heaven and earth, a huge monster appeared, causing the mountains and rivers to shatter and the sky to break. The terrifying aura made everyone's scalp go numb. Even the powerhouses of the Phoenix clan were frowning. Ancestral bloodline. Flawless 100 miles could actually reach such a level. It was too unbelievable. This bloodline was only slightly inferior to the Emperor's bloodline. This way, the other party would not be afraid of the Emperor's divine ability. In fact, he could rely on his powerful bloodline divine ability to directly crush everything. Chapter 5103. An ancient heavenly rock appeared between heaven and earth. Everyone was on high alert. Lin Xian's demon god seal was shattered by the ancient heavenly rock. Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. The scene before him was extremely strange. The ancient heavenly rock did not appear out of thin air. It grew out of Flawless Bailey's back. In other words, Flawless Bailey's bloodline power caused the ancient heavenly rock to appear. Flawless Bailey carried the ancient heavenly rock on his back. The ancient heavenly rock did not appear completely, only a part of it. However, a pair of wings was enough to sweep everything away. He said coldly, "So what if you have a Thearcha's ability? Without the true Thearcha's ancient scripture, you are not my match." He shouted angrily and strode over. The ancient heavenly rock behind him moved quickly, and dazzling laws rushed out. It shone in all directions and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian kept dodging, turning into countless afterimages. He used Shadowless Heavens, net, to the extreme. It was useless, which afterimages were shattered instantly. Flawless Bailey said, "Do you still have any tricks? If you don't, you have lost this battle. From now on, I will be the king of the crown." At this moment, Flawless Bailey was like a god. Lin Xian stood there with a cold expression. He had lost? What a joke. He still had many trump cards that he had not used, but he planned to use another trump card. "Today, I will let you see my trump card." Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly. He did not cultivate one or two Thearcha's abilities, but the demon summoning scripture. The demon summoning scripture was very magical. The reason why it was called that was because when cultivated to the extreme, one could summon a demon god to fight for them. That was the most terrifying thing about the demon summoning scripture. Now that his opponent's bloodline had returned to its ancestral state, he could summon the ancient heavenly rock. Lin Xian planned to summon the demon god to fight against his opponent. He also wanted to feel the true power of the demon summoning scripture. The laws on his body circulated, and demonic aura filled the sky, covering the 9 heavens. Lin Xian seemed to have turned into a demon lord at this moment, and he was extremely terrifying. At the same time, a blurry phantom appeared behind him like a shadow. The shadow was too blurry. It was as if it would disappear with a gust of wind. However, he appeared behind Lin Xian. The moment this figure appeared, everyone felt terrified. Their souls felt like they were about to kneel on the ground and worship it. The expression of the Tian Peng race's expert changed greatly. What was that? Could he summon it as well? Could it be that he had the bloodline of the demon race? Countless terrified voices could be heard. Even the members of the Phoenix clan were shocked. What was going on? Why do I feel frightened? Impossible. We have Emperor clan bloodlines, so why would we fear the other party? Murong Qingqing was also surprised. Her body was glowing with 7-colored light, and the phantom of a 7-colored phoenix enveloped her. What exactly did older brother Xian summon behind him? To be able to make my bloodline feel as if it is facing a great enemy? The Phoenix clan leader's expression also changed. She also had a feeling of unease. At this moment, in an ancient palace of the Phoenix clan, a beautiful woman opened her eyes. There was an extremely terrifying bloodline phantom in her body. She was the princess of the Phoenix clan. Feng Jiao. What was going on? How could there be such a terrifying aura outside? Someone come. With an angry shout, a guard outside knelt on the ground and said, "Princess, what orders do you have?" Feng Jiu asked. What happened outside? The guard said that the Tian Peng race's Bailey Wuk was fighting with someone, and the patriarch had opened the ancient battlefield. In the ancient battlefield, flawless 100 miles. Feng Jiu frowned. Could it be that an emperor had come? Her figure flashed as she left the ancient palace and flew into the distance. In the next moment, she arrived above the ancient battlefield. Her appearance caused countless people to raise their heads to look up. Heavens, it's Feng Jiu. Fairy Feng Jiu actually came out. No way. Wasn't she cultivating in seclusion? Exclamations of surprise rang out one after another. Although Murong Qingqing had a great reputation and was pursued by countless people, Feng Jiu was even more famous. However, Feng Jiu was even more famous because she was the daughter of the great emperor, the princess of the Phoenix clan. She was the existence that stood at the peak. The power of the other party's bloodline made everyone feel terrified and uneasy. Even the primordial, heavenly Peng roared. Feng Jiu, why are you here? The Phoenix clan leader stood up with a look of surprise. Feng Jiu said, Who is that? She stared at Lin Xian and frowned. She knew Bailey Wuk. In her opinion, Bailey Wuk must have encountered a peerless enemy when the ancient battlefield was opened. Only the crown prince could threaten Bailey Wuk. She guessed that it should be one of the emperors, but after seeing the other party, she was stunned. It was not the dragon prince and the others, but a young man she had never seen before. This young man was too strange. He stood there with a monstrous, demonic aura. Moreover, the demonic shadow that was summoned behind him made her feel extremely uncomfortable. She used her powerful bloodline, and even the ancient Tian Peng summoned by Bailey Wuk roared uneasily. However, the demonic shadow did not seem to have any reaction. Could it be that the demonic shadow was not afraid of her bloodline? This was too unbelievable. She said, Who is this person? What is his background? The Phoenix clan leader said. His name was Lin Xian, Qingqing's husband. He also had a title, Lin Wudi. He was a peerless genius that was suitable for the dragon prince to be crowned on the same day. He was Lin Wudi, the champion of the crown. Feng Jiu was surprised. She naturally paid attention to the coronation. She knew that the dragon prince and another person called Lin Wudi would be crowned together. However, what surprised her was that this person was actually here, and he was Murong Qingqing's husband. This Murong Qingqing was really well hidden. Feng Jiu glanced at Murong Qingqing and frowned slightly. Although she was very confident in her bloodline, the Phoenix clan was very special. However, the seven-colored phoenix was an extremely special existence within the Phoenix clan. Once it grew up, it would also be a threat to her. Now that there was another champion of the crown by the other party's side, it was really not good. Everyone was envious of Feng Jiu's arrival. However, Bailey Wuk's expression was solemn. He did not care at all, because he did not have a chance. The demonic shadow that Lin Xian summoned made him feel as if he was facing a great enemy. Even Lin Xian was shocked. He felt as if a god was standing behind him. He did not turn back because he could not. Let me see the true power of the demon summoning scripture. The demonic shadow was controlled by Lin Xian, and he slowly raised his hand. One of his fingers became solid as if it was about to materialize, and he pointed it forward. Demon God's finger. Boom! Heaven and earth were collapsing, and a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. The entire primordial battlefield was shaking violently. Oh no! This guy can't break through the primordial battlefield, right? Where did this demonic shadow come from? Everyone frantically retreated. Feng Jiu's eyes shone with a terrifying light. She probably had to give it her all for this finger. Chapter 5104. This finger attack was truly too terrifying. The ancient heavenly Peng roared crazily. It flapped its wings and charged over. This power could overturn everything. However, after meeting that finger, it instantly collapsed. The ancient heavenly Peng roared. Countless cracks appeared on its body. Then it exploded into a bloody mist. Bailey Wuck also spat out blood and retreated. His face became extremely pale. This ancient heavenly Pung was condensed from his bloodline power. Now that it was destroyed, his bloodline became extremely weak. He lost too much power. He retreated far away, his body shaking. This was impossible. He roared crazily. This was already his strongest trump card. However, he still couldn't do anything to it. Damn it. Why? Was he really unable to defeat it? The others were also shocked. What exactly was that black finger? What was that demonic shadow? They were all shocked, and even the Phoenix clan was frowning. Why did they feel that the demonic shadow was so dangerous? Even Lin Xian was stunned. It was so powerful. He knew how terrifying the ancient heavenly Pung was. If he wanted to destroy it, he would have to take out the heaven-swallowing jar or the great dragon sword. However, it was done with just a finger. It was truly shocking. This was just a finger. If he summoned the entire demon god phantom, no one would be a match for him. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He wanted to continue cultivating the illusion demon scripture and try to summon a more realistic demonic shadow. After retracting the demon god phantom, Lin Xian looked forward and took a deep breath. This summoning consumed a lot of his power. However, he had the sword world, so he wasn't afraid. He looked forward and said, "You lost. Fulfill your promise. From now on, wherever Ching Ching appears, you will disappear." "All right, I will do what I say." Bailey Wuck gritted his teeth. "Lin Wudi, I lost to you this time. However, I will win one day." After saying that, he turned and left. The heavenly Peng race quickly chased after him. Now that Bailey Wuck was seriously injured, they had to protect him. The heavenly Peng race leader also said, "Phoenix friend, we will leave first." After saying that, he quickly left with his people. Was he defeated? The surrounding people were shocked. They really couldn't imagine it. Originally, they were all worried for Lin Xian. However, in the end, Flawless Bailey was defeated. Was he really that scary? Sure, Yuan Feng suddenly felt that his defeat was not unacceptable. On the other hand, the people of the Lei Dong clan were terrified. They were so scared that they knelt on the ground. After provoking such an existence, they would be in danger in the future. The elders of the Thunderdong tribe hurriedly took out a few congratulatory gifts and said, "Lin Gongzi, we failed to recognize your greatness and offended you. Let us apologize to you. I hope that young master will accept these things." With that, he placed it in the void and quickly fled with his men. Lin Xian waved his hand and used Thunderclap Hand. The elder's grandson was shredded into pieces. He screamed miserably, didn't he? "Save me." The members of the Lei Dong clan stopped, turning their heads to look. He discovered that the other party's heart and soul had been completely destroyed. Those people were terrified. Lin Xian sneered. "He wanted to kill me, so it's normal for me to kill him. Are you going to avenge him?" The members of the Lei Dong clan were silent. The leading elder laughed. "We don't dare. Let's go." Their hearts were bleeding, but they still had to smile. This was a feeling that they had not experienced for many years. Now a young man had suppressed them to the point where they could not raise their heads. The others were even more shocked. Heavens, they seemed to have witnessed the rise of a young great emperor. The other clans and sects also came over to pay their respects. In the crowd, Bai Yi, Jia Luo, and the others were stunned. Was he really the brother Lin that they knew? He was actually the One Crown King. He actually defeated Flawless Bailey. These people felt like they were dreaming. The members of the Phoenix clan were also shocked. The Phoenix clan leader took a deep breath and walked forward. "Lin Gongzi, please." She was very polite. The surrounding people were all shocked. The grand clan leader of an emperor clan was actually treating a youngster with such respect. One could imagine that the Phoenix clan also thought highly of him. "Let's go." Lin Xian held Ching Ching's hand and walked inside. Next, the Phoenix clan received Lin Xian grandly. The surrounding people also congratulated him. In an instant, Lin Xian became the focus of everyone's attention. When the matter here spread out, the world was shocked. They did not expect this Lin Xian to be so terrifying. The people of the Heavenly Rock clan had ugly expressions. The Thunder clan also gritted their teeth. They had lost all their face. They were even prepared to contact the Heavenly Rock clan to see if they needed compensation or assassination. However, there was no movement from the Heavenly Rock clan. It was obvious that the blow this time was too big for them. They could not accept that the number one genius had been defeated. The expressions of the Phoenix clan's geniuses changed, and they all smiled. They came to Lin Xian's side and proposed a toast. Previously, they were all arrogant, but now they had to smile. Because sitting on both sides of Lin Xian was Murong Qingqing, who had the seven-colored Phoenix bloodline. The other was their princess, Feng Jiu. With these two people sitting here, who would dare to be presumptuous? In addition, the strength that Lin Wuti had displayed previously was not weaker than the prince's. Everyone could only curry favor with him. You cultivate the inheritance of a great emperor, right? Feng Jiu asked in a deep voice. Lin Xian nodded. That's right, it was indeed the inheritance of a great emperor. He did not hide it. This matter had already spread in Holy Abyss, ancient city. The Phoenix clan only needed to ask around, and he did not intend to hide it. He displayed strength that was not weaker than the prince's. He did not have the bloodline of a prince, so it could only be the inheritance of a great emperor. He was not afraid of these people coming to snatch it. Whoever dared to make a move on him, he would send them to hell. Very good. I didn't expect to meet another powerful opponent. However, I hope that we can join forces. Qingqing is a member of the Phoenix clan, so you are naturally an important guest of the Phoenix clan. When the time comes, we can join forces and sweep away those princes before deciding the winner. Sure, you can discuss this matter with Qingqing. Lin Xian nodded. Although he and Feng Jiu would fight sooner or later, they could join forces and attack the other emperor races first. Moreover, joining forces with the Phoenix clan would also give Lin Xian a powerful boost. Even if the other party could not help him kill the Dragon Prince, he could still rely on the power of the Phoenix clan to restrain the other enemies. It could be said that Lin Xian was not at a disadvantage at all. In the following days, Lin Xian stayed in the Phoenix clan with Murong Qingqing. As for the Crimson Dragon, Toad, and Little White, they went out to play happily. Lin Xian was not worried. These guys were also very powerful. About 2 months had passed, and Lin Xian had been cultivating in silence. However, the Crimson Dragon flew back. His face was covered in dust, and he gritted his teeth. Damn it, this is too much. Kid, hurry up and come with me to save people. Chapter 5105. What happened? Lin Xian asked with a frown. He looked around and found that only the Crimson Dragon and Little White had returned. He asked, "Where's the Toad?" "It's a long story. Anyway, follow me to save the Toad first." The Crimson Dragon quickly flew into the distance. Lin Xian rose into the air with Little White and followed him. On the way, he understood. It turned out that when the Crimson Dragon and the other two went out to play and look for heaven and earth treasures, they met a group of people. Those people were very strong. After seeing the Crimson Dragon and the other two, they thought that they were heaven and earth spiritual beasts and wanted to suppress them. In the end, the Crimson Dragon and Little White ran out and suppressed the Toad. Who were those people? Lin Xian frowned and asked. He wasn't sure. The aura on their bodies was very terrifying. It seemed to be yin and yang aura, but it wasn't exactly. Yin and yang aura? Lin Xian was puzzled. Could it be that they were from the Kuan Peng clan? Thinking of this, his speed became even faster. A pair of black wings appeared on his back. Follow me. He brought the Crimson Dragon and Little White. The demon god wings flapped and turned into a bolt of lightning. His speed was 10 times faster than before. In a mountain peak, endless laws condensed and the palaces and pavilions turned into a fairyland. A woman sat there, playing a guqin. This woman's face was extremely beautiful. The aura on her body was very mysterious. It was a little holy, but also a little eerie. Around her stood figures with the same aura. Opposite her, a figure was suppressed in the cauldron. It was a toad. At this moment, it was crazily trying to escape. However, it couldn't escape. Damn it, let me out if you have the guts. I'll fight you to the death. Do you know who I am? I have a very powerful brother. You'd better let me go obediently. Otherwise, you're dead. Ever since the toad was captured, it began to roar crazily here. It was furious. It seemed that this guy wanted to cook it. The experts in front frowned. Princess, this damn toad is too annoying. Should we cripple it? The mysterious woman stopped playing the zither. She looked up and nodded slightly. Let's cook it first. This toad is a strange beast of heaven and earth, and is extremely poisonous. The poison refined from her other meridians should be a precious treasure. I know. The two guards walked over and formed a seal with their palms, spitting out terrifying flames that enveloped the cauldron. The toad screamed miserably inside. Damn, it's so hot. You're not thinking of stewing me, are you? I'm covered in poison. You'll die from the poison if you eat me. The toad roared, but to no avail. The temperature of the cauldron rose higher and higher. Is he not here yet? Damn it, what's wrong with Rizalong? He knew that the Crimson Dragon and Little White had escaped and would definitely call for Lin Xian. However, before the other party arrived, he would probably become a braised toad. At this moment, the mysterious woman spoke again. I'll give you another choice. If you obediently submit to me, become my puppet and create poison for me every day, I can spare your life. The toad was not an ordinary demonic beast, but the poison in his body was extremely terrifying. Those great sages who were enveloped by his poison would be seriously injured and die. Naturally, such a thing would attract the attention of others. The toad roared crazily after hearing that. You want me to submit? It's not impossible. Let me out first. Let you out and then run away? Although you're cunning, you won't be able to withstand a single blow from us. Someone, place a soul restriction on him. If he resists, cook him directly. As the cold voice fell, a terrifying light burst out from the eyes of the two experts. Seeing that the toad was about to fall into a very dangerous situation, a voice came from the sky. Who dares to touch him? Great, they're here. Hearing this voice, the toad laughed proudly. Ha ha ha, I'll see how you die. How dare you offend me? I'll turn you all into battle servants later. The two experts frowned. Who is it? Go to hell. One of them raised his hand and struck the void. It was a terrifying palm, like the hand of a god, shattering the void within 1,000,000 miles. In the endless black hole, 3 figures descended. It's you. The other expert also frowned. They recognized the Crimson Dragon and Little White. They were the 2 demonic beasts that had escaped from their hands previously. They didn't expect them to return. Seems like my luck is really good. The woman in front, Yunyu, smiled. Previously, she could tell that although the toad was terrifying, the dragon and monkey bloodlines were even more extraordinary. However, the 2 of them had the means to escape. She was careless and let them slip away. She was vexed and even wanted to ask the toad about their whereabouts. She didn't expect them to return. The toad roared crazily. Good brother, you're finally here. Hurry up and kill them. They actually want to cook me. The toad was in so much pain that it stomped its feet. Lin Xian looked down and frowned. The toad was his partner. He said, coldly, I'll give you a chance. Let go of my partner and kneel down to accept your punishment. Just you? When the experts below heard this, they were all stunned. Then they laughed. Is this kid retarded? Yun, you also looked at the toad and sneered. Is this the reinforcements you invited? He's just a young ant. Does he dare to fight against us? She looked up and said coldly, Do you know who we are? How dare you fight against our destiny twins? Do you not know how to write the word death? Destiny twins? Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. He had never heard of it. I've given you a chance. Since you don't cherish it, don't blame me for taking action. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. Stupid thing, you're courting death. An expert from the Destiny twins in front of him shouted angrily. He slapped over with his palm. The palm instantly turned as black as ink. The hand of punishment. The entire world shattered once again, and an endless black hole appeared. This attack was really too terrifying. This was a peerless divine ability. Legend had it that it could punish everything in the world. No one could escape from it. At this moment, when it was used by this expert, it was really terrifying. There was a strange power between heaven and earth. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. Damn it, this is the power. It's a little like the power of darkness, but it's a little different. Kid, be careful. They're very strange. Don't worry, they won't be able to withstand a single blow. Lin Xian stood there and said indifferently. The expert who attacked snorted coldly. Stupid thing. His hand of punishment had already arrived above the other party. In the next moment, the other party would definitely die. If the other party died, the 3 divine beasts would be theirs. They would use the other party's bloodline to create divine pills. Looking at the descending hand of punishment, Lin Xian raised his palm and slapped forward. There were golden flames dancing on it. The palm seemed to have turned into a sun, shining in all directions. Chapter 5106. Lin Xian's palm was like the sun, invincible. The sun shone on the hand of punishment. The cold aura on the hand of punishment collided with it, and an earth-shaking sound rang out. 2 completely opposite forces collided. That aura was extremely terrifying, and all the mountains within millions of miles were shattered. On the opposite side, the eyelids of the twins of Destiny clan twitched wildly. This guy was so terrifying that he could block the hand of punishment. It was too unbelievable. Suddenly, their pupils shrank. They found that in the fierce collision, the hand of punishment burned and turned into ashes. How was this possible? They exclaimed in disbelief. The hand of punishment was so terrifying that it could even suppress and extinguish flames. But now, the other party's flames burned their divine ability. What was going on? The powerhouse who attacked also retreated. His arms turned into ashes, and his face became incomparably ugly. The surrounding twins of Destiny clan were all stunned. The young man just casually threw out a palm and broke their great divine ability. What kind of power was this? Great. The Crimson Dragon laughed, and the toad roared crazily. Humph, now you know how powerful my brother is. I've already told you not to provoke me, but you didn't listen. Now just you wait for my wrath. Lin Xian stepped in the air and looked down. He said coldly, What other tricks do you have? Show them all. Damn brat, don't be arrogant. The twins of Destiny clan roared. Yun Yu also stood up. She looked up at the sky. For the first time, she seriously sized up the other party. It turned out that the other party was not an ant. He was a top-notch expert. She said in a deep voice, Who are you? Do you want to become enemies with my twins of Destiny clan? I advise you not to do so. So what if you're from the twins of Destiny clan? How is the Tianping clan compared to your clan? Their clan can't do anything to me, let alone you. Hearing this, the surrounding people were stunned. The Tianping clan couldn't do anything to the other party? What a joke. The Tianping clan was a clan of the ancients. They were very terrifying. They were in existence second only to the great Emperor clan. His clan's #1 genius, Bailey Wuck, was an expert who could compete with the crown prince. It was rumored that he had a high chance of becoming a true great emperor. The other party actually dared to say such big words. How laughable. Yun Yu also shook her head and sighed. Young master, although you have some strength, you can't be compared to others, but you think too highly of yourself. Just how vast was the Jadoth continent with countless geniuses? Experts were as common as clouds in the sky. How many can you block? Not to mention the entire heavenly rock race. Even that number one genius, Flawless Bailey, is not someone you can contend against. Those who could compete with Flawless Bailey were all imperial princes. On this continent, there were definitely no more than 5 people. Is that so? Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. You still don't know that Bailey Wook has already lost, right? So what if he lost? He didn't lose to you. The person who defeated him was even more powerful. The only one who could contend with Flawless Bailey was the Phoenix clan's princess, Feng Jiu. Then there was Lin Wudi. Do you know who Lin Wudi is? He defeated the Dragon Prince and was crowned as the King of One Crown. Can you contend with such a person? To be honest, they didn't believe it either. Previously, Yun Yu and the others had made a trip to the underworld. When they returned, they heard the news of Flawless Bailey's defeat. At that time, they thought that someone was joking. After careful investigation, they found that Flawless Bailey had indeed lost. The one who defeated Flawless Bailey was a person called Lin Wudi. They had also investigated this person and found something even more shocking. The other party was crowned together with the Dragon Prince and had even injured the Dragon Prince. He could be said to be a young great emperor. In the sky, the Toad and the Crimson Dragon wanted to laugh. The Lin Wudi that the other party was talking about was standing in front of them. Ridiculous! These people actually didn't know. The Destiny twins coldly snorted. Who do you think you are? The Imperial Prince or Lin Wudi? If you aren't, you don't have the qualifications to contend with us. We have 10,000 ways to make you live a life worse than death. The expert, who had his arm burned, stood out. Why are you talking nonsense with him? I want to kill him with my own hands. I was just careless before. He was indeed careless because he had never put Lin Xian in his eyes. He just didn't expect that the other party would have such a terrifying flame. Now that he was careful, he didn't believe that he would lose again. An extremely terrifying aura bloomed from his body. Holy radiance. So what if the other party had the power of extreme yang? Not only did the Destiny twins have the power of cold, but they also had the power of holy. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into an angel, holy, and made people look up to him. Another palm struck out. Palm of purification. The palm that was like a god slapped over. It was completely different from the previous palm of punishment. Brat, let's see what your flame can do to me this time. He let out a sinister laugh. The Crimson Dragon and the others sneered. He really didn't know what death was. Did Lin Xian only have the 9 yang divine flame? These people would regret it. Lin Xian's face also darkened. He snorted coldly and pointed out with his finger. Demon God finger. Under this finger, demonic energy overflowed into the sky. A terrifying aura tore through the 9 heavens. The holy palms that filled the sky were instantly engulfed. No. The powerhouse who attacked wanted to escape, but in the end his glabella was pierced through by the finger. His body and soul were destroyed. He was dead. The surrounding people were shocked and couldn't believe it. Their companion was also a top-notch powerhouse. He was an extremely terrifying existence in the middle stage of the Supreme Sage realm. But now he was killed by the other party with a finger and no longer existed. What kind of method was that? The surrounding powerhouses felt their scalps go numb. They looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. Yun Yu's expression also changed. If the other party was an old monster, she wouldn't be surprised at all. But the other party was too young. Such a person had such strength. It was something that she couldn't imagine. Who are you? She shouted in a delicate voice. Lin Xian sneered. You look smart, but why are you so stupid? Can't you even guess who I am? Lin Xian looked down like a demon god. Yun Yu's expression became incomparably ugly. She wasn't stupid. He was a top-notch genius. She could naturally see that the other party's strength had reached an unparalleled level at such a young age. The other party was a supreme youth. Such a person was already no different from the crown prince. And the other party wasn't the crown prince, so there was only one person. It was Lin Wudi. The only supreme youth who had risen up now was Lin Wudi, who had just defeated Flawless Bailey. The other party appeared in this place again. There was definitely no mistake. She gritted her teeth and said, "You are Lin Wudi?" The other powerhouses of the Twins of Destiny were also shocked after hearing this. They sucked in a cold breath. They had previously said that the other party treated the other party as a supreme youth. They didn't expect that they would offend the other party now. Chapter 5107. So you're Lin Wudi. Yun Yu's beautiful eyes flickered. She sighed. Since that's the case, I won't make things difficult for you. Take your friends and leave. Is that it? The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. You attacked us before, and now you want us to leave with just a sentence? Aren't you too naive? The toad jumped out and sneered. That's right. I said before that if you offend me, you'll have to suffer my anger. Now, obediently cripple your arms and hand over your storage rings. Then, kneel on the ground and wait for my orders. What? As soon as these words came out, the Destiny Twins were furious. Are you courting death? How dare you? Who do you think you are? Yun Yu's expression was also cold. Lin Wudi, I admit that you're powerful and have the strength of an emperor. But so what? No matter how strong you are, you're just one person. Can you fight against the entire Destiny Twins? Our family strength is not something you can imagine. If you offend us, it won't be difficult for you to die. Are you threatening me now? Lin Xian also laughed. There are many people who threaten me. Even the Thousand Dragon Dynasty wanted to kill me back then, but they still didn't succeed. My brother is right. If you dare to attack them, you have to be punished. Are you going to cripple your own arms and kneel down to die? Or do you want me to do it? You're courting death. The members of the Twin of Destiny clan were furious. The two of them instantly charged over. One of them struck out with the hand of punishment, while the other struck out with the hand of holiness. Shattering heaven and earth, they charged towards Lin Xian's head and heart. Lin Xian sneered. Scram! He waved his sleeve, and a terrifying sword light covered the sky and earth. These sword energies were incomparably cold. They tore through the 9 heavens and instantly shattered the two's divine abilities. The two of them also vomited large mouthfuls of blood and were sent flying. The Crimson Dragon said, Kid, leave the people around to me. I'll leave the woman below to you. Be careful, she's very strong. The toad also shouted angrily, I'll play with you. He shot out poison that filled the sky and killed the surrounding Destiny Twins. The Crimson Dragon even used the spirit vein under the ground, turning it into an extremely terrifying spirit vein power. He killed his way out. A great battle broke out in an instant. Lin Xian walked forward and stared at Yun Yu. Yun Yu's expression was cold, without the slightest fear. A cold, murderous look appeared in her eyes. Lin Wudi, let me ask you, have you ever been to hell? You even know about this? Lin Xian was stunned. Yun Yu's eyes instantly turned red. It was indeed him. It seems that there are not many people named Lin Wudi in the world. You were the one who killed the dead Ling Yuan. How did you even know about this? Lin Xian was even more surprised. You're from the underworld? Yun Yu snorted coldly. The Dead Soul's Abyss was engaged to me. Since you killed my fiancé, don't blame me for being impolite. I will use all of my power to kill you, and I will not hesitate to mobilize the experts of the older generation. Lin Xian smiled. The Dead Soul's Abyss had been killed, and they deserved it. As for you, can you leave today? Lin Wudi, you are too arrogant. You underestimate me too much. I'm also a top-notch genius, and I even dare to compete with the Empress. Today, I'll let you see the power of the Destiny Twins. Yun Yu is also a top-notch expert. However, Lin Xian had only been in the Yuhin continent for a short time, and he did not know about the geniuses of the Yuhun continent. Yun Yu's reputation was that of a genius, and her existence was like a pearl. Her reputation was not inferior to bailiwuck's. At this moment, Yun Yu waved her hand and slapped forward. A large black crack appeared in front of Lin Xian. There was a cold and gloomy aura on it, and it wanted to swallow Lin Xian. The Destiny twins. Lin Xian now understood that these two opposite powers were like the power of yin and yang. He was not afraid. Looking at the huge black crack, he also stretched out his hand. His 5 fingers closed, and a terrifying flaming palm covered the sky. It was like a towering mountain, and it was as if the god of fire had reached out and grabbed the entire space crack. The palm exerted force, and the entire crack split into pieces. Then his body swayed, and he instantly appeared in front of his opponent. You can also try my strength. He threw out a punch. 6-path fist, shattering heaven and earth. Feeling this terrifying power, Yun Yu's body kept swaying. She seemed to have turned into moonlight, and her movement was abnormally ethereal. She shouted angrily, but she did not escape. Instead, she fought with Lin Xian. The laws danced in the air, and divine abilities emerged one after another. The battle between the two was earth-shattering. Lin Xian was shocked. He had to admit that his opponent was indeed terrifying. When the two opposite powers were combined, they appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Moreover, the two powers seemed to be able to merge. It was indeed beyond his imagination. This woman was indeed a top-notch genius. The Destiny twins were indeed worthy of their reputation. However, Lin Xian laughed. Your strength is not bad, but it's only on par with bailiwick. Even he was defeated. Do you think you can win against me? How dare you look down on me? Yun Yu roared and threw out both her palms. One was as black as ink, and the other was as holy as an angel. The two palms slammed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's fist pressed forward with indomitable will. At the same time he waved his hand, and endless sword light appeared. Tens of thousands of sword lights blocked the palms that filled the sky. Then he struck out again. Azura sword technique. This sword caused Yun Yu's glabella to almost split open. Her expression changed drastically. Not good. This was a sure-kill sword. How could the other party have such a godlike attack? She quickly retreated. At the same time, she formed a law clone in front of her to block this sure-kill sword. The law clone was split into 2. A drop of blood dripped down from the sky. It was also black and white. Yun Yu's face was pale, and blood appeared at the corner of her mouth. She was injured. Lin Xian was surprised. Not bad. She could actually dodge the Azura sword technique. You are indeed a top-notch expert. One had to know that Lin Xian had killed many terrifying great sages with the Azura sword. However, the other party could easily dodge and only suffered some light injuries. Not good, the princess was actually injured. The Destiny twins, who were fighting the Crimson Dragon in the distance, were also shocked. Was this Lin Xian already so terrifying? This was not good news. Lin Wuti, you actually dared to hurt me. You have completely angered me. Now, I will let you see the strongest technique of my Destiny twins. She used the power of her bloodline to the extreme. At this moment, half of his face was pitch black, and the other half was divine. My Destiny Gemini clan worships the good twin and the evil twin. They are our ancestors. Now, I will let you know the power of the good and evil. As she spoke, 2 blurry images seemed to appear behind her. They were 2 statues. One had ferocious fangs like a demon from hell. The other was like an angel, ascending to immortality. Lin Xian's eyes erupted with an extremely sharp light. What a terrifying bloodline power. This was the first time he had seen it. I hope you won't disappoint me. The corners of his mouth curled up. Show me all your methods. Yun Yu snorted coldly and fell into hell forever. The evil son behind her waved his hand. It was as if he had struck out hell, wanting to envelop Lin Xian. Chapter 5108. The terrifying abyss of hell swallowed Lin Xian. Yun Yu snorted coldly. Everything was over. In the distance, the people of the Twin of Destiny clan also laughed wildly. You dare to go against our princess. You will definitely die. The evil sun in the sky wanted to put away the abyss of hell. However, at this moment, a sword light soared into the sky and flew out from the abyss of hell. Then it fell mercilessly. The surrounding heaven and earth shattered, and the abyss of hell was split into two. Lin Xian walked out from inside. Sword energy surrounded his body, making him look like a sword god. I have passed through the real 18 levels of hell and can come out calmly, not to mention the abyss of hell that you have evolved. It can't suppress me at all. Is this your evil son's method? It's only Eso. How is this possible? Did he escape? The people of the Twin of Destiny clan were shocked. The Crimson Dragon and the others sneered. How do you ants know how powerful he is? Yun Yu's face was also cold. The abyss of hell was actually unable to do anything to the other party. Then purify. You are a demon. I will destroy your heart and soul. On the other side, the virtuous son formed a seal with his palm and formed a purification bottle. The mouth of the bottle drooped down, and endless light swept through the 9 heavens like the Milky Way. The demonic chi that filled the sky was shaken and quickly dissipated. One had to admit that this purification bottle was really terrifying. Lin Xian seemed to feel a huge suppression. There seemed to be a force that was about to restrain him. He snorted coldly, and the demonic chi on his body disappeared. It instantly turned into a flame of extreme yang that burned fiercely. The 9 suns divine fist struck over, together with the 6 paths fist. The monstrous flames and terrifying fists shattered heaven and earth. The virtuous sun's phantom and the bottle in his hand also shook. It seemed that they would shatter at any moment. This was an earth-shattering battle. Yun Yu felt a huge pressure. She had never seen such a terrifying person. Moreover, the other party was like her, able to transform into the sun war god and terrifying demonic shadows. How could she contend against such an existence? Lin Xian attacked and suppressed the virtuous sun. At the same time, he slashed out with his sword towards the evil sun. One person against 2 forces. Boom! At this moment, the power of the 6 Tao fist shattered the virtuous child like reincarnation. The holy radiance that filled the sky was torn apart and scattered all over the ground. Ha! One down. The Crimson Dragon and the others laughed. The Toad also roared in delight. Let's see how you'll die this time. Lin Xian turned his head and stared at the evil brat. It's time to deal with you. The sword chi was like a dragon as it charged forward. The great battle erupted once again. The evil child was suppressed. At this moment, an extremely terrifying light suddenly appeared behind him. Then a palm strike came. Lin Xian never thought that someone would appear, and it was so terrifying. In an instant he was sent flying. The demonic chi on his back was torn apart, and a terrifying crack appeared on his body, almost piercing through his body. Boom! The boundless earth in front of him shattered, and Lin Xian was drowned in ruins. With a boom, Lin Xian charged out once again. Golden dragon blood dripped down from the sky, letting out a series of roars. His back was a blur, and his internal organs were injured. Not good, the Crimson Dragon roared. Little White was so anxious that her eyes turned red. Who was it? They took a closer look and were stunned. They saw a statue that was incomparably holy, as if an angel had descended. It was the virtuous child from before. How was this possible? They shouted angrily. Wasn't this thing torn apart by Lin Xian previously? Why did it come out again? Lin Xian's face was also cold. He couldn't understand either. Yun Yu sneered. It's useless. Do you know why we're called the Twin of Destiny? As long as one is alive, the other can be reborn. Lin Xian understood. If the evil child didn't die, even if the virtuous child was shattered, it would reappear. It was really terrifying. No wonder the other party was so confident before. Lin Xian's face was cold. Then I'll kill them all. Yunyu sneered. You, do you have the ability? She activated the virtuous child again and charged over with the evil child. Lin Xian shouted angrily and fought in all directions. This time, a huge seal appeared in his hand. It was incomparably terrifying. The demon god seal swept across heaven and earth, beating the evil child until he kept retreating. The hell's abyss in his hand was also shattered. At this moment, the demon god seal erupted with power and directly suppressed the evil child. Lin Xian held the Hellfire Dragon Sword and charged towards the virtuous child. One was suppressed, one was killed, and the other was killed in an instant. However, at this moment, the evil child self-destructed, and the demon god seal suppressed the ground. Soon, he reappeared from another place. It's useless. I've said it before, unless the two of you perish together. Otherwise, you won't be able to kill them, and you won't be able to kill me. So difficult to deal with. Toad and the others frowned. Even Lin Xian's expression was cold. Wasn't the other party's survival state even more terrifying than the Emperor's? That was impossible. A golden light appeared in his eyes. He carefully probed and found that after these two shattering, the other party's aura was much weaker than before. In other words, the other party couldn't recover indefinitely. When the other party's strength was used up, this effect would disappear. Then, he would directly kill the other party until they had no strength left. Lin Xian attacked again. Following that, the virtuous and evil children were killed or suppressed a few more times. After 5 times, Yunyue's expression became incomparably ugly. Not even half of the power in her body was left. Only 1/3 was left. If this continued, she would be finished. He roared and took out the heavenly materials and earthly treasures in his storage ring. She swallowed all of them. Her strength was erupting. It was useless to try to exhaust me. Our trump cards and resources are enough to support us. Lin Xian didn't attack again. The other party was right. With the other party's identity, the resources in her hands would definitely not be small. There might even be several worlds to rely on. This way, it would be impossible to exhaust the other party. Haha, you don't have any other moves, right? I said that you can't do anything to me. Yunyue's expression was cold. As long as you leave, I will mobilize the great saints of our Gemini clan to hunt you down, until your body and soul are destroyed. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and a terrifying power of reincarnation suddenly erupted from his eyes. Yunyue's body trembled, and her soul seemed to be torn apart. No, she roared crazily, and the phantom of the virtuous sun instantly fused into her body. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The virtuous sun roared towards the sky. Yunyue retreated into the distance. She vomited large mouthfuls of blood, and blood flowed out of her eyes. She looked ahead and gritted her teeth. Technique, damn it, you want to control me? It was too dangerous. If she didn't have the virtuous and evil children that she could summon at any time, she was probably really controlled by the other party just now. Lin Xian frowned tightly. He found that he had indeed controlled her. However, he was controlling the phantom of the virtuous sun. The other party's methods were very strange. With a cold snort, the power of reincarnation killed the virtuous sun. This caused Yunyue's aura to weaken again. But soon, the virtuous sun was summoned again and surrounded her. Lin Wudi, it's time for me to counterattack. Chapter 5109. Yunyu's cold voice sounded, and the virtuous sun behind her condensed a sacred sword. The evil sun condensed a devil blade. The sword and saber attacked, sweeping across heaven and earth, and charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian also felt a huge pressure. To be honest, if it were other experts, they would have been defeated by him. But because the virtuous son and the evil son were the twin of destiny, unless they were killed instantly. Otherwise, it would be difficult to end this battle. An extremely terrifying light appeared in his eyes. I don't believe it. You can always recover. An extremely terrifying dragon-shaped phantom appeared on the Hellfire Dragon sword. That was the aura of the great dragon sword soul, which transformed into the dragon battle sword. Together with the Hellfire Dragon sword, it slashed over. The sword collided with the sacred sword and shattered the sacred sword. The virtuous son was split into two halves. It was useless. Yunyi sneered and continued to attack. But soon, she realized that something was wrong. This time, the virtuous son didn't recover instantly. Instead, it took a long time. How was this possible? Yunyi was stunned. Why did such a thing happen? Did she lose her powers? She then took out a storage ring, which contained over 1,000 pills. She swallowed them. Any great sage who saw these pills would go green with envy. After swallowing these pills, her exhausted strength instantly recovered. Again, with an angry roar, she attacked again. Lin Xian continued to wave the Hellfire Dragon sword, and the dragon-shaped sword aura surged and slashed towards the evil son. The evil son was split into two halves, and the recovery process was even slower. What was going on? Yunyi roared in horror. Her current strength was at its peak, but the situation was worse than before. Damn it, what did you do? She roared. Lin Xian smiled. The great dragon sword soul was invincible and extremely sharp. Even if it was the virtuous son and the evil son, it would be difficult for them to recover. Thinking of this, he continued to use the great dragon sword soul, and more dragon-shaped sword aura surged and condensed. The virtuous son and the evil son were injured more and more. In the end, Lin Xian waved his hand and summoned the great dragon sword soul. He slashed with the sword. This time, the virtuous son and the evil son were completely shattered and couldn't recover. Puff! Yunyi spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. A crack had appeared between her brows. His entire body was almost split in half. How could this be? She roared crazily. In addition, the people of the Twin of Destiny clan were also stunned. What the hell is going on? His opponent's sword chi was too cold. Lin Xian snorted coldly. What? Do you still think I can't kill you? Damn it. Yunyi was enraged. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying radiance erupted from her eyes, between her cracked eyebrows. A pair of eyes appeared. One was as black as ink, while the other was as bright as the sun. His eyes, which were completely opposite, pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Lin Xian felt as if his soul was about to be penetrated. His chi and blood roiled. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. What was going on? The Crimson Dragon and the others were shocked. Brat, are you all right? The toad also jumped up. Yunyi snorted coldly. Her voice was no longer pleasant to the ears. Instead, it had become low and hoarse. Stupid thing, you actually dare to go against me? Do you think you have what it takes? The ancestor had descended. When the powerhouses of the Twin of Destiny clan saw this scene, they all prostrated on the ground. They kept kowtowing. In front, Yunyi stood there, and a terrifying light condensed on her body. Her power had become even more strange than before. She stretched out her claws and grabbed forward. "Aunt, go to hell." The Crimson Dragon and the others cried out in alarm. They wanted to go forward to help, but they were sent flying by a slap. They vomited large mouthfuls of blood. How did this guy's power become so strong? They were shocked. He was probably possessed by something. The Crimson Dragon's eyes were red. In an instant, this palm enveloped Lin Xian. It was over. The deep voice chuckled. Pooh! The sound of a dragon rang out. The sword chi was like a dragon, directly slashing on this palm. A sonorous sound rang out. accompanied by a mournful scream. That palm quickly retreated. Blood dripped from it. The entire palm split from the middle. Lin Xian retreated as well. Sword aura circled around him. She said, coldly, I didn't expect you to hide such a thing in your body. It's just a wisp of aura. Do you really dare to fight against me? Kill. The dragon-shaped sword Qi was displayed to the extreme. That terrifying phantom kept retreating. In the end, it directly hid in Yun Yu's body. A crazy roar sounded. Damn it, what kind of power is this? An invincible power. Did that sword appear again? He was angry. This power actually suppressed him. Lin Xian snorted. Do you think I can't find you if you hide in there? He used the heavenly secret, divine eyes. A pair of godlike eyes looked down from the void. The fire of reincarnation. An extremely terrifying flame descended. The fire of reincarnation locked onto that phantom. Crazy roars came from inside. One moment, the death aura was monstrous, as if it had turned into hell. The next moment, there were tens of thousands of rays of light. Everyone was shocked by the horrifying scene. I found you. Destroy. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Yun Yu, on the other hand, became terrified. She could feel her life force slipping away quickly, but she couldn't resist at all. At this moment, there was a powerful force controlling her. Was she going to die? She realized that she was going to die in the hands of the ancestor she worshipped. At this moment, there was even a trace of desolation in her heart. Their Destiny Gemini clan worshipped two totem-like figures, the good and evil ones. Only the top geniuses and experts in the clan would be favored by these two old masters. The aura of the ancestor was hidden in the body. It would only appear when one's life was in danger. Usually, Yun Yu couldn't sense it, but now she realized that this aura was too strong. Once it was summoned, it wouldn't be under her control at all. Even if she could kill the enemy, she wouldn't be able to survive. It was uncertain whether this body was hers or not. This was their ancestor. Wasn't he supposed to protect them? Why did he want to destroy them? There were tears in her beautiful eyes. Damn it. The power in Yun Yu's body burned, and she launched a shocking attack. Lin Xian snorted coldly. A Tai Chi diagram appeared in front of him and rotated rapidly. The laws of yin and yang condensed. Do you think you're the only one who can use this power? Suppress him. The Tai Chi diagram rotated rapidly. The good and evil ones roared crazily. He felt that he was being torn apart by two forces. In the end, the two of them were completely enveloped by the Tai Chi diagram and suppressed in different spaces. Break through space. Two voices sounded. However, at this moment, a dragon-shaped sword shadow pierced through the 9 heavens. It instantly killed the two of them. Roar. And you dare to hurt my clone? I won't let you off. The roar overturned heaven and earth. In the end, it disappeared. Lin Xian's face was pale. He didn't expect this battle to be so dangerous. He almost fell for it. What kind of secret was the Destiny Gemini clan hiding? Chapter 5110. Just as he heaved a sigh of relief, there was another change in front of him. The broken good and evil sons actually appeared again, which made Lin Xian frown. Back then, he pierced through two figures with one sword, and there was still a time difference. Could he revive them with just this little time difference? Did he really have to kill them at the same time? In front of him, the good and evil sons that were condensed were very weak. Kid, I won't let you go. He enveloped Yun Yue and turned to escape. Want to escape? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Seal for me. The Taiji diagram flew out again and kept spinning, enveloping the good and evil sons, respectively. This time he sealed them. It's useless. You can't kill me. He roared crazily. But this time, Lin Xian didn't plan to kill him. After sealing him with the Taiji diagram, Lin Xian used the power of the heaven-swallowing jar to form a whirlpool and swallowed the Taiji diagram. No, feeling the power of the heavens swallowing earth. The good and evil suns roared crazily. However, he was still completely swallowed. This time, the aura between heaven and earth disappeared. How was it? Did he kill him? In the distance, the Crimson Dragon and the others flew over and asked quickly. The previous battle shocked him. It was even more terrifying than the battle between Lin Xian and Bailey Wuck. They weren't dead yet. Lin Xian shook his head. They weren't dead yet. I used the Taiji diagram to suppress them and the heaven-swallowing jar. They couldn't escape. Moreover, these were only 2 clones. What? Were the clones so powerful? The toad was surprised. In the distance, the people of the Twins of Destiny knelt on the ground and roared crazily. Ancestor! They were even more shocked. Although these were clones, they were the clones of their ancestor. To be precise, they were the clones of their ancestor. The Twins of Destiny were born from the very beginning. They thought that they were the descendants of the good and evil sons. Now, the clones of their ancestor were suppressed by a young man. This was too unbelievable. Had this young man already reached such a terrifying stage? Kid, what do you plan to do? The Crimson Dragon asked. Whitey also jumped over. Lin Xian gave Little White a spirit fruit and said, I want to see his real body. What? You want to see their real bodies? This was too dangerous. That was an existence akin to their ancestors. The toad also said, You will anger the entire Twin of Destiny. Lin Xian said, Don't worry, I'm going to study their powers. It can make my Taiji diagram even stronger. The Taiji diagram possessed the power of yin and yang, which was one of the world's origin powers. However, as Lin Xian learned all kinds of secret techniques and mastered the power of reincarnation, Lin Xian was able to become a powerful cultivator. There was also the inheritance of the great emperor. The Taiji diagram could no longer keep up with his strength, so he rarely used it. However, Lin Xian knew that it wasn't that the Tai Chi diagram was weak, but that it was very difficult for him to greatly increase the power of the Tai Chi diagram, unless he had a lot of yin and yang energy. This time, the good and evil children might be able to improve his Taiji diagram. This way, he could become even stronger. Therefore, Lin Xian decided to make a trip to the Twin of Destiny clan. Even if he couldn't find the ancestor, he had to find enough power to improve his Taiji diagram. What about those people? Lin Xian turned his head and looked. He used the Shadowless Heavens net and the Azura sword technique to kill them. Those people resisted and wanted to escape. However, Lin Xian used the demon god's wings, and his speed was extremely fast. In the end, the 7 members of the Twin of Destiny clan fell. There was only one person left. It was Yunyu. At this moment, Yunyu was incomparably weak. She fell to the ground, her face filled with despair. Previously, the good and evil children he summoned had already burned his strength in order to escape. He was severely injured. It was impossible for him to even escape now. Was he going to die here today? Yunyu was unwilling. He could be said to be the top in the family and was thought highly of by the patriarch and ancestors. Yunyu even felt that he could compete with the emperor. Moreover, he did have such strength. This was a person who was going to become a great emperor in the future. Was he going to die here now? And this Lin Wuti, he had never taken him seriously before. He even promised the undead race that he would take revenge. But now he was going to die in the hands of the other party. How ironic. Lin Xian said, "Do you want to live?" Hearing this, Yun Yu's body trembled. Her empty eyes suddenly lit up. "You're willing to let me go?" He was so excited that he was trembling. "Impossible. What are you plotting?" Lin Xian smiled. "What do you think of what happened before? Do you think the good and evil children you summoned were really protecting you?" Hearing this, Yun Yu fell silent. She gritted her teeth and said, "You want to sow discord and make me betray the family?" "Humph." Lin Xian snorted coldly. Do you think you won't be suspected after you go back? I've already suppressed those two people, and you can still go back alive. Won't your family suspect you? Damn it, Yun Yu shouted angrily. I can prove my loyalty to the family. Lin Xian smiled, and then the ancestor's clone would be planted, using your body as nourishment, providing power for the ancestor. In the end, you're just a pitiful worm. Don't say any more. Yun Yu roared crazily. This matter had a deep impact on him. As a top genius, he naturally noticed it. What did the family treat her as? Treated her as soil? At the moment of crisis, she would be consumed. She even felt that this was a conspiracy from the beginning. What were the good and evil children trying to do? Lin Xian said, Has your Destiny Gemini clan never suspected? Could it be that there were no geniuses and powerhouses who died inexplicably before? As soon as these words came out, Yun Yu's heart trembled. She remembered something. That was that in the past 10,000 years, there had been several times when the top geniuses of their family had inexplicably died. In the end, they couldn't even find a trace and were treated as unsolved cases. Not only was the Destiny family surprised, but even the entire Yuhun continent was puzzled. Everyone was looking for it, but they couldn't find it at all. Now it seemed that it was very likely that the good and evil children did it. Could it be? Yun Yu was terrified. Lin Xian said, It depends on your strength. The Destiny Gemini clan should be the top of the younger generation. Haven't you thought about your fate? Join forces with me, and I'll give you a chance to live. What do you want? Yun Yu gritted her teeth and said, If I join forces with you, will you let me go? You don't understand our Destiny family. Lin Xian said, Then do you understand me? You've even summoned the ancestor's clone, but it's different. You can't do anything to me. Believe me, I can control your fate. A golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, and the power of reincarnation was displayed. Yun Yu's soul shook. She felt as if the other party was a god looking down on her. At this moment, she became incomparably small. What kind of eyes did he have? It was too terrifying. Chapter 5111. Yun Yu felt that she was about to collapse. Under this pair of eyes, she couldn't resist at all. Could it be that she was going to become the other party's puppet? But after waiting for a while, she realized that the other party didn't do anything to her soul. This surprised her. Lin Xian said coldly, The two ancestors you respect are very strong. If I plant a soul restriction on you, they will discover it in an instant. So I won't do anything to you. As for whether you want to cooperate or not, I will only give you one chance. If you cooperate, I will let you go, and we will work together. If you object, I will destroy your soul now. Yun Yu was surprised. Aren't you afraid that I will agree first and then go back on my word? Lin Xian smiled. It seems that you still don't understand me. If you do this, no matter where you escape to, or the depths of the universe, even if you have the entire Fate clan to protect me, I can still send you to hell. Lin Xian's voice wasn't soft, but it was filled with infinite confidence. Yun Yu's heart trembled. She didn't doubt that the other party had this ability. Fine, I will cooperate with you. Yun Yu gritted her teeth and said, There was no other way. She was still young. She didn't want to die. If she went back like this, she would be suspected by the family. There was even a possibility that the ancestor would plant another clone. This way, she wouldn't be able to control herself. She didn't want such a fate. As a top expert, she even had the chance to become a great emperor. How could she be willing to be controlled by others? Although she was cooperating with Lin Xian now, she was also being led by Lin Xian. But she was different. Lin Xian wouldn't have any restrictions on her, so she still had a chance in the future. Comparing the two, Yun Yu decided to be the other party. Sighing, Yun Yu smiled bitterly. It seemed that even if the other party succeeded, she wouldn't be able to stay in the family in the future. That meant that this time when she went back, She had to obtain enough resources and escape immediately, or even escape from this star world. Go to the depths of the universe and wait for him to fully mature before returning. Get up and recover from your injuries first. Then we will go to your Fate Clan's territory. The Fate Clan. They occupied endless territory and even had endless worlds in their hands, because they were a top desolate ancient family. At this moment, in the Fate Clan's territory in an ancient palace, it let out a crazed roar. The surrounding void shattered, and the nearby forest collapsed. It was as if the end of the world had arrived. The demonic beasts outside prostrated themselves on the ground. Even the members of the Fate Clan were terrified. The elders all stood up. What was going on? What happened? Not good. A few guards ran out, their bodies trembling. This was the ancestral hall. The voice came from the ancestral hall. Damn it, something has happened. Hurry up and inform the patriarch. Countless people began to move. A few figures quickly descended in a majestic hall as the sky and earth bobbed up and down. They were the elders of the Fate Clan. These people looked panicked. Old ancestor, something bad has happened. Their voices rang out. In the main hall, a man opened his eyes. This man had a white face and no beard, and he looked like a scholar. However, the aura on his body was extremely terrifying. The two phantoms exuded completely opposite powers. It made one's heart crumble just by looking at it. The stars in the man's eyes were extinguished, and the terrifying heaven and earth anomaly in the sky disappeared. All of it entered his body. He said in a low voice, "What's the matter?" I heard a roar coming from the ancestral hall. Did something happen? Hearing this, the Fate Clan leader's expression changed. What did you say? This time he was no longer calm. He instantly appeared outside the main hall. Let's go. Their figures flickered and they disappeared. When they reappeared, they were already in the ancestral hall. This was an old house. It was unusually simple, and it gave off a desolate aura. Here, everyone was cautious. Usually, no one could enter this place, except for a few elders and the patriarch. The other guards were also standing guard outside. But today, everyone was here. It was just that no one dared to enter. Let go, the patriarch is here. A voice rang out. Everyone turned around and saw the patriarch and a few core elders walking over. Seeing the patriarch, they quickly bowed. Patriarch, please go take a look. An elder advised Fate. The patriarch nodded and walked in with a cold expression. The others could only watch with their eyes wide open. The few core elders also stopped. The Fate Clan leader walked in himself. The ancestral hall was a little dark, and it wasn't as small as imagined. It could be said that the space was incomparably vast. Half of the heaven and earth in the ancestral hall was holy, like a paradise on earth. The other half was pitch black, like the 18 levels of hell. It was like the boundary between Chu and Han, clear and distinct. The Fate Clan leader walked over and stood at the boundary. He looked forward and said respectfully, he didn't know what had disturbed the patriarch. Why was the patriarch so angry? Buzz. The statue of the good son appeared in the paradise ahead. The statue of the evil son appeared in the 18 levels of hell. The two statues seemed to have come to life, and their eyes burst out with an extremely terrifying light. Their voices rang out as well. Someone actually destroyed my clone, and even suppressed it. This is unforgivable. What? The patriarch's clone was destroyed. That's impossible. The Fate Clan leader was also surprised. He knew how terrifying the patriarch's clone was. It was impossible for it to die. It was even impossible to suppress it. But now someone did it. Damn it, I don't know. After my clone was suppressed, I couldn't send any information. But I know whose clone was destroyed. It was Yunue who found him. He had to find out who did it. He had to tear that person into pieces. Yunue, the Fate Clan leader, was even more shocked. Didn't Yunue leave the family to go to the underworld? Could it be that something happened during this period? Just who was it that made this move? He guessed that it was someone who could make their patriarch so shocked. Probably only a few top, remote antiquity families could do it. It might even be a peerless expert of the emperor family who did it. Regarding this matter, they didn't seem to have offended these people. There was no need to care about their identity. This time, even if it was the emperor's son who did it, he wanted to bring that person over. I want to let him know the consequences of offending me. The statues of the good son and evil son roared crazily. The surrounding mountains of corpses and seas of blood, and the sky full of multicolored light dancing in the sky, made the Fate clan leader's scalp tingle. He hurriedly lowered his head. "Patriarch, don't worry, I'll send someone to find him." After saying that, he walked out respectfully and left the ancestral hall. Only then did he raise his head. Then a sharp light burst out from his eyes. The people outside were waiting. When they saw the patriarch come out, they all walked up. What was going on with the patriarch? Those elders were hiding their doubts. An extremely sharp light burst out from the Fate clan leader's eyes. "Eighth elder, come here." Chapter 51:12. An old man walked out from the crowd with a puzzled look on his face. He was the eighth elder. "Why is the patriarch looking for me? Where is Yunhua now?" the patriarch asked. The eighth elder was stunned. Yunhua was his granddaughter and also a top genius of the Destiny Twins clan. She was the pride of their bloodline. The eighth elder was still happy at this moment. It seemed that their patriarch really cared about Yunhua. He smiled and thanked the patriarch for his concern. Yunhua had gone to the underworld and had already returned. She should be able to return to the clan in a few days. Send a message and tell her to come back immediately. Then bring her to see me. Don't waste a moment, understand? The eighth elder nodded in understanding. What happened to the patriarch? The Destiny patriarch said that he would know when Yunhua came. Hurry up and go. The eighth elder quickly went to act, and the other people also dispersed one after another. The Destiny patriarch stood there with his hands behind his back. His eyes were shining with a piercing cold light. Yunhua was still alive, but the clone in Yunua's body was broken. It was really strange. Who exactly was it that had such a method? Could it be that those old monsters of the monarch race really made a move? It shouldn't be. There was more than one monarch race, and they all restrained each other. Their clan was different from the sacred realm, so they wouldn't attract the crazy attacks of the monarch race. Moreover, so what if there was? He was extremely confident in their patriarch. As long as the Destiny Twins didn't die at the same time, they could be reborn endlessly. This was their greatest ability. On the other side, Lin Xian and Yunhua were ready to take action after joining forces. Before going to the Destiny clan, he first returned to the Phoenix clan. After informing Morong Qingqing, he set off with Yunhua. This trip would probably take 1 or 2 months. On the spirit boat, Lin Xian and the others were cultivating inside. Yunhua was seriously injured and hadn't fully recovered yet. However, to her surprise, Lin Xian recovered in a few days. She was shocked. What kind of healing method was this? It was terrifying to such an extent. Could it be that the other party had some secret method or shocking, heavenly treasure? She wasn't sure. She felt that the young man in front of her was a cloud of fog that she couldn't see clearly at all. After flying for more than a month, a deafening sound came from the front. Someone was blocking their path. If you want to pass through here, hand over your storage rings. Inside the spirit boat, the Crimson Dragon and the Toad opened their eyes. Someone actually dared to rob them? Did he have a death wish? Just as they were about to make a move, an earth-shattering sound came from the front. Extremely terrifying lightning pierced through the 9 heavens, shocking the 2 of them. Damn, they were experts, and there were quite a few of them. Lin Xian opened his eyes, stood up, and walked out to take a look. They walked out and saw many people hovering in the sky outside. They had lightning on their bodies, as well as this cold and gloomy power. Who are you? Why are you blocking my way? Lin Xian said coldly. Brat, you don't even know us. We are from the Lei Han clan. If he wanted to go over, he would have to obediently hand over all his treasures. Do you want to go to hell? You choose one. A piercingly cold voice sounded, and there were hundreds of figures standing around. Each and every one of them was extremely powerful. The toad snorted coldly. Humph, what kind of Lei Han clan is this? How dare they rob people? How shameful. Has your family become so poor? Damn it, do you want to die? The people from the Lei Han clan were enraged. He slapped his palm over, and a white thunderbolt streaked across the sky. Wherever it passed, it would first freeze and then shatter. The toad was shocked and quickly dodged. Damn, you have some skills. Let me spar with you. He wanted to make a move. At this moment, the experts in the surroundings also surrounded them. Lin Xian and the other two, while the other party had more than 30 people. Such a huge disparity made the people from the Lei Han clan sneer. Lin Xian's face darkened. It seemed like they were going to make a move. However, at this moment, a figure walked out from the black earth behind them. Stop! Who dares to meddle in our business? The people from the Lei Han clan shouted angrily. They looked into the distance. Someone sneered. Oh, what a beautiful woman. We are in luck today. After killing these 3, this woman will be ours. A few of the young saints began to laugh. They stared at Yunyu with greed in their eyes. However, at this moment, an elder looked over and his pupils constricted. The next moment, a slap landed on the faces of those young sages. A few of them were sent flying and their faces were smashed. Elder, why did you hit us? Their faces were filled with bewilderment. They were all stunned. The great elder kicked a few more people, and they were smashed into pieces, screaming in pain. The elder said, Do you want to die? Don't you know who the other party is? Kneel down. The few young people's broken bodies recovered, and they were so scared that they knelt on the ground. They were terrified. Who was that woman in front of them? How could she make their elder so scared? Under their shocked gazes, the elder of the Lei Han tribe ran over with a smile on his face. Greetings, Fairy Yu. I didn't expect you to be here. We were really blind. Please spare us, Fairy Yu. The elder almost knelt on the ground. The young warriors behind were dumbfounded when they saw the scene. This woman's background was too big. He was actually able to make their elders act so respectfully. Who is she? Yunyu sneered. The Lei Han clan was so arrogant. You don't even care about the Destiny Twins clan? Seems like you want to be exterminated. No, we don't dare to. The elder quickly shook his head. I'll take care of them now. He waved his hand, and the 3 young men who spoke arrogantly were captured. Then their souls were destroyed by the elder. The rest of the people from the Lei Han clan were so scared that their bodies were trembling. The twins of destiny were much more powerful than them. They couldn't stand the fact that the other party wanted to attack them. The elder of the Lei Han clan cried, Fairy Yu, please spare us. Our clan is in a war with others, and our clan's resources are almost depleted. That's why we came up with this plan. We didn't know that we had offended you, Fairy Yu. Please spare us. The rest of them also begged for mercy. Please have mercy, Fairy Yu. Yunyu, on the other hand, was expressionless. She ignored him and looked at Lin Xian. She said respectfully, Master, how should we deal with this matter? The people from the Lei Han clan were stunned, especially the elder in front. He looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. He knelt on the ground with a thud. Who was Yunyu? He knew very well. The Destiny Twins clan was also the top genius of the younger generation. She was an existence that couldn't be offended. But such a fairy was so respectful to the young man in front of him. Who was this young man in front of him? After thinking about it, he could only think of one possibility. Emperor's son. Only the son of a great emperor could be so terrifying and suppress Fairy Yunyu. He actually wanted to attack such a person. He was about to faint Chapter 51:13. Lin Xian squinted his eyes as he looked at the people in front of him. Let's do as they say. Hand over all your storage rings and treasures, and you can live. Otherwise, you'll all go to hell. The moment he said that, the Lei Han tribe's faces changed. They didn't hesitate to rob because they were running out of resources. Now that they had to hand over their remaining resources, wouldn't that be asking for their lives? They hesitated. Yun Yu snorted. Why? Mister has already spared your lives, and you still dare to resist? Do you want to die? We don't dare. The Lei Han tribe shook their heads. If they angered Yun Yu, none of them would be able to live. Old Zhang said, Quickly hand over your storage ring and all the treasures on you. In the end, the dark red divine dragon collected the mountain of treasures and storage rings and went back in high spirits. The Lei Han tribe looked at the back view of the group of people as they left. They were so regretful that they cried. This time, they really kicked an iron plate. Haha, what a great harvest. It was an unexpected joy. The Crimson Dragon started to classify the storage rings and treasures. Even Lin Xian's lips curled up as he looked at Yun Yu. Looks like you're famous. Yun Yu lowered her head. She didn't dare to. Compared to Mr., her reputation was nothing. Mr. was the one who truly shocked the world. It was just that young master was elusive, and they had eyes but failed to recognize him. Lin Xian smiled. To be honest, he was surprised. With her identity, it would be hard for her to adapt to becoming a servant. However, Yun Yu didn't seem to be bothered. It seemed like this woman's desire to live was beyond his imagination. This way, he could control her better. She better not play any tricks with him. Otherwise, he would make her regret being born in this world. The group of people continued to fly. A month later, the spiritual boat stopped. Yun Yu looked ahead and said, This is the territory of our bloodline. Is it? Then let's go. Lin Xian knew that as a top clan of the ancients, the core elders had their own territories. They even had many worlds in their hands. These were their powerful resources and foundations. But Lin Xian was not afraid. Lin Xian had witnessed a truly peerless battle. Back then, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had used this kind of battle to destroy Spirit Realm. No matter how much power you have, no matter how many worlds you have, everything will be destroyed. Only personal strength was the most important thing. Lin Xian wanted to walk the same path. I don't care what family you're from, or what power you're from, I'll break it all by myself. After flying for less than 2 days, the spirit boat was stopped again. Lin Xian frowned. The Crimson Dragon also said, Hey, don't tell me you were robbed in your own family's territory. Even Yin Yu was furious this time. Who was so blind? She said, I'll go out and take a look. Young master, don't worry. Yun Yu walked out, followed by the Crimson Dragon. He was afraid that the other party would run away. When they got out, they saw 3 war chariots parked in front of them. Figures flickered on the chariot. One of the women walked over. Sister Yun Yu, you're back? This woman was also very beautiful. There was a rune between her eyebrows. She was also from the twin of Destiny clan. Yun Ling, the open and secret fights between such a big family were very terrifying. After all, no one wanted to be overshadowed by others. Moreover, status was related to resources. When talent was similar, the more resources one had, the better one's future achievements would be. Therefore, in such a big family, every genius was basically an enemy. Or rather, an enemy. Previously, Yun Yu's talent was unparalleled. She suppressed the other geniuses and couldn't even raise their heads. Although everyone was angry, they didn't dare to show it. They could only smile every day in order to curry favor with the other party. Now it was different. The patriarch personally asked Yun Yu to go back. It was even related to the old ancestors' madness. They felt that this was an opportunity. Yun Ling, how dare you speak to me like this? Do you want to die? Yun Yu emitted a biting cold aura. In the surroundings, the members of the Twin of Destiny clan were trembling. They wouldn't forget what kind of woman she was. She was like a queen. Offending her would end up worse than death. Therefore they trembled. Yunling, who was in front, sneered. "You're really as arrogant as ever. But unfortunately, you're no longer the same as before. Do you still think you're high and mighty like a goddess? It's useless. You've angered the patriarch and he'll send you back. Now, grandfather has also received the order. You'd better follow me obediently. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that you won't be injured. After all, as long as you don't die, I'll have completed my mission." Her eyes were emitting an extremely sharp killing intent. She had long wanted to make a move on the other party. Now was a good opportunity. Yun Yu was indeed mad. At the same time, she was shocked. It seemed that the family had already known the news. Were they going to make a move on her directly? Men suppressed them. Yun Ling waved her hand, and the powerhouses on the surrounding chariots all walked down. A terrifying aura enveloped Yun Yu. Yun Yu snorted and slapped out. 2 people were sent flying, and their bodies were shattered. Yun Ling sneered. "You dare to make a move? Men, you guys make a move too." She was really too happy. If the other party left obediently, this might be a misunderstanding. But now, the other party directly made a move on the family. This had already broken the rules. He could also make a move without any scruples. Seeing the surrounding people rushing over, Yun Yu snorted. The sacred sword and the devil's blade appeared in her hands, and she swept them in all directions. How could these people be her match? Soon they were sent flying. Even Yunling was trembling in fear. "Damn it, what do you want to do? Do you dare to make a move on me? I'm here on grandfather's order. Do you want to rebel?" Before he could finish speaking, he was sent flying with a slap. A handprint appeared on his handsome face. She screamed in horror. "Damn it! How dare you make a move on me? I'll fight it out with you." She summoned the sacred sword and the devil's blade and attacked. But she was defeated in 3 moves. Her body was split into 2. "No!" Yunling screamed in horror. Was the difference really that big? She had always been unconvinced by Yun Yu, but now it seemed that the other party was really too strong. She had far surpassed her. Yun Yu snorted coldly. "An ant like you dares to challenge me? No matter when, you're no match for me." As she spoke, she destroyed the other party's soul with a sword. Everyone had died. Yun Yu's expression was really ugly. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over and said, "It seems like your Destiny Twins race has already started to make a move." "Yes, young master, what should we do?" "We have to act quickly." Yun Yu knew how terrifying the family was. Those who came were just some trash. Next, they would send out some experts. No matter how strong she was, she wouldn't be able to fight against the entire family. Chapter 5114. Lin Xian said, "Then let's go. I want the power of the twins. Bring me to it. As for you, you should need enough resources. We'll take what we need and leave here as soon as possible." Since she had decided to separate from the family, Yun Yu would not hesitate. Heaven said that other than the family headquarters, there were 4 other places that had the power of the twins. They were given to the 4 core elders. My grandfather is from the 8th elder's line. He is one of them. In our family's ancestral hall, there are statues of the good and evil. Other than that, the rest of the elders are only worthy of enshrining scrolls. I don't think you're interested in the power of the scrolls. Why don't you attack the 4 statues? Okay. Lin Xian's eyes also shone brightly. Let's go. As they spoke, they sped up. The black earth turned into an extremely cold black lightning. It quickly flew into the distance. At the same time, in the hall of this land, an elder stood there with an extremely cold expression. There were many experts around him. They were all from the same line. At this moment, someone rushed over from afar with a broken jade pendant in his hand. The soul pendants of the people sent out were all broken, including Yunlings. No, a middle-aged man roared crazily. He was Yunling's father. Who would have thought that Yunling would also die? Damn it, Yun, you did it. Impossible. Another man roared crazily. He was Yun Yu's father. He looked at the elder and said, "Father, you will never betray the family." The elder in front was the eighth elder. He also sighed. "I also don't want him to betray the family, but the current situation is very strange. We have to find Yunyu and let him bring him to the patriarch. Otherwise, our line will be in danger. Men, attack. Send out elite forces to bring Yunyu back. We have to ensure Yunyu's safety. At the same time, no matter who it is, kill all the people around him." Yes. After receiving the order, the surrounding people began to move. Yunling's father, Yun Shao, personally led a group of people to move out quickly. Not long after they left the mansion, they stopped. This was because they discovered that there was an extremely terrifying bolt of lightning in the distance, and then stopped in the air. It was a spirit boat. In the next moment, they saw a few figures walk out of the spirit boat. When they saw it, they were extremely shocked. Yun Shao gave a cold smile. "It seems like I don't need to look for it." The news was immediately relayed by the guards below. "Eighth elder, Fairy Yunyu has returned." So fast? The eighth elder was surprised. Lord Yun Shao had not gone out yet. Fairy Yun Yu had returned on her own. There were 3 people following him. Hearing this, the expressions of the experts in the hall changed. Was he really being threatened by someone? Who were those 3 people? What kind of aura did he have? The bodyguard said that he didn't know. For now, everything was unclear. Among them were 2 demonic beasts and a youngster. What? Everyone around him was stunned. From their point of view, these 3 people should be unparalleled experts or super almighties. After all, it was only because of the other party that they had such means. But now there were actually young people. What was going on? Let's go out and take a look. These people walked outside. At the same time, Yun Shao snorted coldly and attacked. "Yun, you kept him alive and suppressed him. As for the rest, kill them without mercy." The experts of the Fate clan rushed over in an overwhelming manner. Some of them were covered in holy light and struck out with terrifying holy swords. Holy light. Some were as terrifying as demons. They attacked from all directions. There were vengeful spirits from hell. All kinds of attacks came from all directions. "Damn, you want to kill us? Do you want to attack?" Lin Xian said with a cold expression. "Attack, don't hold back." Since he had been discovered by the other party, he wouldn't be polite. Thinking of this, he waved his hand and punched forward. The terrifying power, along with terrifying flames, directly rushed over. More than 10 experts in front were pierced. Their bodies were enveloped by flames and turned into ashes. He was actually so powerful. The surrounding people of the Destiny clan were stunned. Who was this young man? Even Yun Shao was shocked. The other party killed more than 10 experts with a single punch. He could be considered the top among the younger generation. But so what? This was their territory. Even if he was a dragon, he had to coil. He roared, and more experts rushed over. At the same time, he also rushed over. The toad roared angrily and spat out poison all over the sky. Wherever it passed, the Destiny clan's people's blood boiled and their faces turned black. Many fell from the sky and screamed miserably. Although they wouldn't die, this feeling of hovering between life and death still drove them crazy. The Crimson Dragon was even more terrifying. He summoned the dragon saber and slashed in all directions. Although the Destiny clan was incomparably terrifying, they weren't immortal. Only the extremely top experts were difficult to kill, such as others like Yunyu, although they had also cultivated the good and evil twins. But with Lin Xian's methods and absolute arts, it wasn't a problem to kill these people. Not long after, there were mountains of corpses around. Many members of the Destiny Gemini clan died, and the others were extremely terrified when they saw this. "Damn it, I'll fight it out with you." Yun Shao also shouted angrily. These subordinates were all carefully trained by him. He charged towards Lin Xian and condensed a holy palm. It was like the hand of an angel that descended mercilessly. Lin Xian shouted angrily and punched out the Six Paths fist to contend with the other party. With a boom, an earth-shattering sound rang out, and Lin Xian was forced back. On the other side, Yun Zhao's entire arm split open, and half of his body turned into a bloody mist. "Damn it, why is he so strong?" Yun Shao went crazy. Who is he? He was about to become a saint, but he couldn't do anything to the other party. The power of the other party's punch was too terrifying. Damn it, which force is it? Is it the great emperor's family? While he was hesitating, Lin Xian and the others had already charged forward. Since they made a move, they wouldn't passively defend. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad took the lead. The Toad used poison. The Crimson Dragon's dragon blade slashed in all directions. In addition to Little White's dizziness, these people charged forward and directly killed a bloody path. Ha 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 ha, satisfying. I haven't fought a big battle for a long time. The Toad spat out poison and laughed loudly. The Crimson Dragon also snorted coldly. I'll let you see Bin Huang's strength. A dragon blade was enough to cut through everything. As for Whitey, it appeared and disappeared mysteriously and collected all the storage rings of these fallen people. "Yeah, baby, there are spirit fruits inside. This is not good," he complained as he picked them up, making the surrounding people vomit blood. Yun Shao shouted angrily and charged towards the three of them. Lin Xian stopped them with a sword. "Want to leave? Your opponent is me." As he spoke, he pointed at the other party's glabella. Chapter 51:15. Damn brat, you dare to look down on me. Yun Shao was also angry. As a strong warrior of the middle generation, how could he be scared away by a young man? He roared and waved his hand. A black lightning of hell struck forward. Accompanying it was a cold shout. "I will let you know my true strength." Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Hellfire Dragon sword appeared in his hand. With a slash, the terrifying lightning was shattered. What a terrifying divine sword! It seemed to be an incredible sacred weapon. "After killing you, this thing will be mine. Just nice for my evil son." Yun Shao roared angrily and summoned two phantoms. The kind and evil son, especially the evil son, had an extremely sharp radiance in their eyes. Their palms kept forming seals. Hell's hand. The terrifying palm grabbed towards Lin Xian, wanting to tear him into pieces. Lin Xian was calm. Shadowless heavens, Net came out of ghost silence and dodged the attack. At the same time, he slashed out with his sword. Azura sword art. With a swoosh, the evil sun behind him was split open. Yun Shao was also sent flying while vomiting blood. One of his arms was missing. Lin Xian attacked again. Demon God Sun. Yun Zhao's heart was split open and his entire head was split into pieces. After being heavily injured, Yun Shao roared towards the sky. He was like a wild beast that had gone mad. The terrifying kind sun shot down a holy radiance to repair his body. At the same time he roared, "Men, kill him for me." In an instant, 9 experts rushed over. 9 people fighting one person. The Fate clan members who were watching from afar all sneered. No matter how strong this brat was, he was no match for them. Lin Xian snorted. With the fire dragon sword in his hand, he opened and closed. The biting cold sword aura became a fatal blow. People fell one after another. At the same time, the demonic aura on his body was overflowing. It condensed above him and formed the demon god seal. It was as big as a mountain and kept falling. Every strike would break an expert. Lin Xian attacked aggressively. His body was stained with blood. All of it was his opponent's blood. In the blink of an eye, 9 experts fell. Yun Xiao was heavily injured again. His body was split into 2. Damn it! He fled into the distance. You want to leave? Lin Xian chased after him. The Crimson Dragon and the little white toad also entered the mansion below. After entering, some elders were furious. You're courting death. Activate the formation for me. Although the previous battle was intense, it only happened in an instant. By the time they reacted, many experts on their side had already fallen. This made them angry. They wanted to help, but Yun Xiao fled back. Immediately after, Lin Xian and the others landed in the mansion. After entering, they naturally wouldn't let the other party escape. They wanted the other party to know the consequences of provoking them. All of a sudden, the surrounding formations and blazing flames swept across the 9 heavens like the flames of the gods. There were even angel feathers falling from the sky, turning into a rain of light. It could penetrate and purify everything. There were also some formations that were like vengeful spirits from hell. It was as if there were 18 levels of hell. It was extremely terrifying. These terrifying formations covered the sky as they bombarded Lin Xian and the others. In an instant, they felt a huge pressure. They even began to retreat and vomit blood. The Crimson Dragon roared. Damn it! He used his ancient scripture and began to change the spirit veins under the ground. The formations in the 2 areas collided with each other. Endless cracks appeared in the mansion, and many palaces and pavilions were destroyed. Some people were even torn to pieces by the power. Lin Xian attacked even more fiercely. Every time his sword fell, the world was split open. In the end, those formations were also shattered. There were mountains of corpses and seas of blood around them. A group of people stood there with cold expressions. The people of the Fate clan opposite them were stunned. How was it possible? They had already used the formation of their family, but they still couldn't do anything to the other party? These people were too frightening. Behind them, Yun Yu was also shocked when she saw this scene. One had to know that the power of their family was also very powerful. Even she would be seriously injured by such a lineup. However, the other party was not injured at all. Instead, he became more and more courageous. Fortunately, she cooperated obediently before. Otherwise, she would have ended up in a miserable state. At the front, the 8th elder's face was incomparably cold. Those who died were the elites of their family. His heart was bleeding. Who are you? Tell us where you came from. The surrounding people were also filled with murderous intent. Someone said, Elder, why are you talking nonsense with him? Just kill him. Yes, no matter where he came from, he will definitely die if he dares to attack us in our territory. 8th Elder, please help us. 8th Elder, please help us. Angry shouts sounded one after another. Yun Xiao was also half kneeling on the ground and roaring crazily. The other middle-aged man was Yun Yu's father. He frowned and said to the 8th Elder, Father, Yun Yu is outside, but he didn't come over. Could it be that he is being controlled by someone? The 8th Elder glanced at Yun Yu and snorted coldly. You must be being controlled. Otherwise, why would she betray the family? Kill this kid and then talk about Yun Yu. He looked at Lin Xian, an extremely cold light bursting from his eyes. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You are the 8th Elder, the boss of this mansion? If that's the case, then you can die. Lin Xian waved his hand and slashed out the Hellfire Dragon sword. After killing the opponent, these people of the Fate clan would be leaderless. At that time, he would be able to obtain the power of the good and evil children. You are courting death. The surrounding people roared. The 8th Elder's face was even colder. Is this guy courting death? Who am I? I am an expert of the older generation. How can this guy challenge me? Thinking of this, he snorted coldly and threw out a punch. With a clang, this punch directly knocked away the sword chi. At the same time, he sneered. Young man, if you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. The eighth elder released an extremely terrifying aura. Great, with the eighth elder's help, that kid is dead. Of course, the eighth elder's strength was frightening. The eighth elder was only one step away from becoming a saint. However, with his combat strength, he could definitely fight someone of a higher level. Exclamations of surprise sounded one after another. The eighth elder's face was cold, but he snorted coldly in his heart. He was not just one step away. He was a real saint. However, he had to worship the good and evil children, so he left a part of his strength in the ancestral hall. Therefore, the cultivation that he displayed now was not that of a saint. However, with the strength that he had now, he was enough to deal with the opponent. This time he had to capture the other party and destroy the other party's soul. Behind him, Yunyu saw this scene, and her face became extremely ugly. She knew how terrifying her grandfather was. He could be said to be unfathomable. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, would he be able to resist such an expert of the older generation? Chapter 51:16. At this moment, Yunyu began to worry about Lin Xian. If Lin Xian was suppressed, then she wouldn't end up well either. Although she wouldn't die, she would probably lose her freedom from then on. She would become the ancestors' puppet for the rest of her life. Lin Gongzi, everything depends on you. Kid, did you see that? Your attack is nothing in front of me. Next move, I'll make you wish you were dead. After the eighth elder slapped away the sword energy, he said coldly. He took another step forward, and an endless golden light appeared in his hand, as if it was the hand of an immortal. Divine hand. This move had been used by countless people of the Destiny clan. Even Yunyu had used it before, but compared to the eighth elder, it was too weak. The eighth elder's divine hand was like the palm of a god in the sky. Moreover, the power of the attack had reached the peak. This move had even sealed off all of Lin Xian's escape routes. It could be said that he was very experienced. Under this palm, the kid would definitely not be able to resist. That was for sure. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to compete with an elder like the eighth elder. Around, the people of the Destiny clan sneered. They wanted to see the fall of the other party with their own eyes. With a boom, Lin Xian was torn into pieces. That's great. The members of the Twin of Destiny clan laughed. However, the eighth elder frowned. Was it an afterimage? His gaze swept in all directions, and he suddenly struck out with a backhand palm. It was the divine hand again. With a loud clang, the palm landed on the Hellfire Dragon sword, causing endless sparks to erupt. The Hellfire Dragon sword retreated, and the eighth elder's arm trembled. What's going on? He was shocked and gasped. The opponent's sword energy was so cold. Not only that, the sword in the opponent's hand was actually an extremely powerful sacred weapon. Thinking of this, he shouted angrily, "Kid, your weapon is mine." Behind him, an evil person with a green face and fangs appeared. It was extremely ferocious and directly pounced on Lin Xian. He wanted to snatch Lin Xian's Hellfire Dragon sword. Get lost. Lin Xian snorted coldly as 9 sun phantoms appeared around his body and enveloped his opponent. It formed a boundary space. The evil child let out a miserable roar as smoke rose from his body. He tumbled between heaven and earth, screaming and retreating. Soon, half of his body shattered. The eighth elder's expression changed. This was his illusion. Now that he was injured, he was also affected. Damn it, the flames of Extreme Yang. Virtuous ones attacked together. Behind him, the virtuous one who was as divine as an immortal rushed over. Endless radiance shone from his body, as if an immortal had descended. It withstood the terrifying flames. At the same time, he struck out with his palm as if he wanted to seal the Hellfire Dragon sword. Lin Xian roared angrily as he brandished his Hellfire Dragon sword. At the same time, his demonic aura filled the sky. Demonic God Seal. A huge seal enveloped heaven and earth, suppressing the virtuous child. At the same time, it transformed into a demonic god. The great spear of destruction swept out, piercing through the evil child. The battle was extremely intense. The good and evil children were destroyed one after another. Then they regrouped again. Those people in the distance were stunned. This brat was actually able to contend with the eighth elder. It was too unbelievable. The eighth elder's expression was also cold. The other party's means were beyond his expectations. He was even more terrifying than his granddaughter, Yunyu. This was a genius that he had never seen before. In his opinion, the other party who had such means definitely had an extraordinary background. He said, "Which emperor's son are you?" In the eighth elder's opinion, only the emperor's son had such combat strength. The surrounding people also exclaimed, "Oh God, is he really an emperor's son? Things are not good. Is a great emperor's family going to attack us?" Their expressions became terrified. After all, in this world, the great emperor's family was the most terrifying. A frog at the bottom of a well. Do you only know the emperor's son? I'm not an existence that you can imagine. Lin Xian said coldly, "Kid, I'll suppress you and take your soul. Naturally, I'll know who you are." The eighth elder snorted coldly and attacked again. Above his hands, the illusions of the virtuous and evil children circled around. It was so overwhelming that it made one's scalp tingle. Lin Xian sneered, "Don't you want to know who I am? I'll let you see my divine power." Endless dragon-shaped illusions appeared beside him. He originally had the bloodline of the 10,000 dragons, and at this moment he used the power of the great dragon's sword soul to evolve it. Tens of thousands of dragons rolled between heaven and earth. Lin Xian shouted coldly, "True dragons, 9 revolutions." The bodies of those dragons rotated, and every time they rotated, their power became stronger. It was as if the entire world was about to be torn apart. In the surroundings, the people of the Twin of Destiny clan vomited large mouthfuls of blood and kept retreating. Their expressions became terrified. "Dragon, what a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons. Is he from the Dragon clan? 10,000 Dragons dynasty. Who are you?" The eighth elder also shouted angrily, "This is the divine power of a great emperor. Could it be that you are the Dragon Prince? Is he really stunned?" Lin Xian sneered and did not answer. The true dragon's 9 revolutions charged out, beating the eighth elder until he kept retreating and vomiting blood. The eighth elder shouted angrily and fought. The tens of thousands of dragon shadows were also torn into pieces. The battle between the two sides was incomparably intense. When the terrifying dragon shadows disappeared, Lin Xian attacked again. He became one with the sword. With a sword, he split the body of the eighth elder. At the same time, monstrous demonic chi appeared again. "It's useless." The eighth elder shouted angrily, and the entire mansion shook violently. The good and evil spirits kept growing bigger and bigger. They were tens of thousands of feet tall and attacked Lin Xian. "Suppress them." Lin Xian shouted angrily, but his expression was cold. Demon summoning scripture. A hazy demonic shadow appeared behind him, and then he slapped out with his palm. Demon God seal. The last time he summoned the demonic shadow, he used the demon god's finger, which shattered flawless 100 miles' bloodline technique. This time, the demon god seal from this demonic shadow could suppress everything. A terrifying power erupted between heaven and earth, and the surrounding sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The powerhouses of the Destiny clan who were close were all torn apart and turned into a bloody mist. No, Cloud Sky also wanted to escape. In the end, under this strike, he also vanished into thin air. He let out an unwilling roar. He did not expect that he would die like this. The others retreated frantically. Looking at this scene, their scalps went numb. What kind of method was this? What was that demonic shadow? Damn it! The eighth elder shouted angrily and attacked crazily. The two figures collided with the demon god seal. Between heaven and earth, a storm swept across. The destructive power made everyone's heart tremble. The phantoms of the good and evil spirits collapsed. Endless cracks also appeared on the body of the eighth elder, and it split open with a loud bang. No, he fled frantically into the distance. Under this attack, the mansion where the eighth elder was completely overturned. Countless people turned into a bloody mist. When the cloud of dust dissipated, the eighth elder had already disappeared. Was he dead? Countless people were horrified. They knelt on the ground. Lin Xian frowned and looked into the distance. The other party was not dead. The top powerhouses of the Destiny clan were indeed difficult to kill. However, he did not care, because he had already seen that the only thing in the entire mansion that was still intact was an ancient palace. That should be the place where the statues of the good and evil spirits were stored. Chapter 51:17. Was the eighth elder defeated? The surrounding people couldn't believe it. They knelt on the ground. This was the strongest expert in their clan. How terrifying was his strength! But now he was seriously injured and fled. They felt like they were dreaming. Damn it, I can't believe it. Yun Yu's father, the middle-aged man, was terrified. He kept shaking his head. He couldn't accept it. Even Yun Yu was stunned. She knew how terrifying her grandfather was. But now he had actually been defeated. Had Lin Xian become so terrifying now? Thinking of this, she took a deep breath and walked forward. She stood on the sea of blood. The bones around her were all crushed by her. The other experts of the Twin of Destiny clan were also shocked by the scene. Even the middle-aged man shouted angrily, "You, kill him quickly. You can do it. Only you can do it." Hope was restored in the eyes of the others. Yun Yu was a top genius. She could fight above her level. She was even more terrifying than the experts of the older generation. If the other party attacked, they might have a chance. Yun Yu stood there and ignored her father. She looked at Lin Xian and said, "Young master, the ancestral hall is in front. The thing you want is inside." As soon as she said this, the surrounding people were stunned. What's going on? Yun Yu actually stood on the enemy's side. Damn it, what's going on? Did Yun Yu betray them? The middle-aged man in front was covered in blood. He roared crazily. "You, do you know what you are doing? Are you betraying the clan? Kill him quickly." Yun Yu looked at the middle-aged man and said coldly, "My life was given to me by Lin Gongzi. This time, I was the one who brought young master here." The middle-aged man collapsed. This was impossible. His daughter actually did such a thing. He couldn't accept it. The other people also roared crazily. A few of them wanted to assassinate him. In the end, they were killed by Lin Xian with a finger. The surrounding people were once again struck by this power until they vomited blood. No one was able to withstand it. Why? Why did you do this? The clan nurtured you with all its strength. You actually betrayed the clan. The middle-aged man roared crazily. Yun Yu was expressionless. She sighed. Why? My dear father, do you really not know? That's right, with your talent and strength, you shouldn't be qualified to know. But I think my grandfather should know. Let me tell you why. Some of the top geniuses of our Destiny Gemini clan will be brought to the ancestral hall and planted with their soul avatars by our ancestors. That's right. This soul avatar can protect you and save your life at the most critical moment. The middle-aged man quickly said. Yun Yu laughed when she heard that. Her eyes were filled with madness. Save my life? Earlier, when I was in a state of life and death, I summoned the old ancestor's clone. But did he save my life? It is burning my life. It is sucking my strength. I am the soil, and I want to strengthen his clone. One day, his clone will devour me and come out again. Do you think the family is doing all they can to nurture me? These words were almost like a crazy roar. The middle-aged man was stunned after hearing this. Impossible. He shook his head frantically. Why would the family harm these geniuses? Yunyu scoffed. I don't believe it either, but it really happened to me. Moreover, geniuses of our family have mysteriously disappeared more than once. I think they were swallowed by the clone. Since the family wants to use me as a puppet, then don't blame me. Yunyu took a deep breath, and a biting cold light appeared in her eyes. She looked at Lin Xian and said, Lin Gongzi, go to the ancestral hall. I will collect other resources. Lin Gongzi, you must be fast, otherwise the family headquarters will send experts. After saying that, Yunyu began to search in all directions. She wanted to collect endless resources. It would be easier to use in the future. Lin Xian, on the other hand, narrowed his eyes as he looked ahead. Ancestral hall. He walked forward. The ancestral hall was simple and primitive, and it was a little gray. In fact, Lin Xian didn't know that the ancestral hall here was almost the same as the Destiny Gemini headquarters. It was just that this one was bigger. After entering, the light was a little dim. There seemed to be a layer of fog between heaven and earth, and it was impossible to see clearly. Suddenly, the door of the ancestral hall closed, and the surroundings were completely dark. A terrifying aura swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt that his life was being taken away. Humph! He snorted coldly. He knew that this place wouldn't be so simple, so he was already prepared. An extremely terrifying flame appeared on his body, shining in all directions. 9 suns stood between heaven and earth, and the surroundings were instantly illuminated. The darkness also disappeared quickly like the sea. Lin Xian found that there was a statue in front of him. The statue was half black and half white. The statue began to split from half of its body to 2 sides. One side was pitch black and ferocious like a demon, while the other side was holy like an angel. The demon held a death scythe in his hand, and the angel held a purification bottle in his hand. An extremely terrifying light burst out from the eyes of the two, and they stared at Lin Xian. Stupid thing, you dare to have ideas about us. Kneel down obediently and accept your death. The voice carried an extremely strong power, as if a god was looking down on the common people. Lin Xian also felt the suppression. He snorted coldly, and a golden light flickered in his eyes. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and an indestructible will seem to pierce through the sky. He stood there like a sword god and shouted coldly, pretending to be mysterious, I need your power. Obediently contribute it. Otherwise, don't blame me for breaking your statue. You want my power? Do you think you can? The statue laughed. The good and evil spirits were full of disdain. Stupid thing! Do you know what kind of existence you're facing? Lin Xian also said coldly, aren't you just some remnant souls? Didn't you know when I swept through the 8th Elder's residence? Since you know why you didn't come out, it means that you have some limitations. With your strength, you can't get out of this ancestral hall. So you are just a remnant soul that is struggling at death's door. You are just a remnant soul, and you want to do anything to me? Lin Xian waved his hand, and a Taiji diagram appeared in his hand and kept spinning. Taiji, you have the power of yin and yang? The good and evil statue in front of him roared crazily. Lin Xian was stunned after hearing that. You actually know Taiji. He was also surprised. He had obtained this thing by chance. Very few people knew it. Everyone only knew yin and yang, but not Taiji. However, the good and evil statue knew it. Where did you see it? He said coldly. The statue snorted coldly. It's useless if you still want to lie to me. Once I kill you, the power in Taiji will be ours. He pounced over crazily. Chapter 5118. The good and evil statues turned into 2 gusts of wind, as if they were from 2 different worlds, and they pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered and used Shadowless Heaven's net. His movement technique was very strange, and he disappeared in an instant. The power of two different worlds pressed down on him. Lin Xian's figure had long disappeared, and he appeared in another direction. In the next moment, he roared. A terrifying sword light bloomed, and with an indestructible power it slashed forward. The sword chi shot into the sky. "Useless kid, you're no match for us." The good and evil statue roared and stretched out two palms, one of which was light. The other was darkness. One hand grabbed at the sword chi, and the other grabbed at Lin Xian. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard, and the two big hands of the good and evil statue retracted. They roared crazily. "Damn it, what kind of sword technique is this?" They were really shocked. There were actually two cracks on the two palms. "How dare you destroy my Dharma idol?" He roared crazily. It was too unbelievable. His statue was not casually built. It was his Dharma idol that was combined with extremely precious heaven and earth treasures to condense into a statue. Moreover, it received countless worship and offerings every day, and it could be said that it contained endless power. In the Hall of Poetry, he was like a ruler. No matter who came, they couldn't do anything to him. Now that a young man came in his eyes, the other party was an ant that would definitely die. It would be easy for him to kill the other party. However, the current situation was beyond his expectations. The other party's sword chi actually injured him, and he couldn't bear it. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I told you, you're just a remnant soul, struggling at death's door. How can you compete with me?" Lin Xian looked around disdainfully, releasing an extremely terrifying sword chi that shook the sky and the earth. It was as if the entire ancestral hall was about to be shattered. He waved the Hellfire Dragon sword and slashed over. There was a dragon-shaped sword chi on the Hellfire Dragon sword, erupting with endless power. The two different worlds in front of him were also constantly shattering. What a powerful sword! The pupils of the good and evil statue constricted. One of the good ones rushed over and blocked in front of him. "If I don't enter hell, who will?" With a boom, countless cracks appeared on his body, and then he turned into nothingness. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the evil brat fled to the other side. His face was cold and his eyes flickered. Beside him, the virtuous sun reformed, and the gaze on it became somewhat dim. "Brat, you actually dared to injure my foundation. How despicable. However, you won't be able to kill me. I'll let you see the power I've gained over the years." With an angry roar, the surroundings became dark again. At the same time, countless star-like lights lit up and enveloped the entire ancestral hall. Every ray of light turned into a terrifying rune. Lin Xian furrowed his brows tightly as he sensed a vast and terrifying energy that resembled the starry sky of the universe. He felt like he was about to collapse. "What is this?" He was astonished. He had never seen such power before. Up ahead, the good and evil statue sneered. This was the power of sacrifice. For so many tens of thousands of years, I have been receiving the sacrifices of the twins of destiny here every year. Every year, they would display top-notch treasures of heaven and earth. Then he would kneel 3 times and kowtow 9 times to me. In their eyes, I'm their god, their ancestor. Therefore, they are willing to worship me and constantly absorb the power of these treasures of heaven and earth. They also absorb the power of worship in their eyes. After accumulating for countless years, this is an extremely terrifying power. I can use it to sweep through everything. What do you have to fight me? After saying that, he snorted coldly, and the star-like runes around him bloomed with light. A vast amount of power surged out. Lin Xian kept retreating, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Cracks appeared on his body in an instant, and golden dragon blood appeared. His face was pale. Was he injured? He was shocked. With his physique, This power was indeed terrifying to be able to injure him in an instant. Brat, did you see that? You can't compete with me at all. The good and evil statue waved his hand again. The power erupted, and Lin Xian's body was blasted into pieces. Ha! The good and evil statue laughed proudly. Lin Xian's broken body quickly retreated and reformed in the distance. A battle armor appeared on his body. It was an illusion that enveloped him. On it, there was an extremely terrifying life force. The immortal, indestructible battle armor. Lin Xian's broken body recovered, but his expression was somewhat cold. This power was indeed very strong. However, he was extremely happy. Such a terrifying power was even stronger than the power of 10 worlds. This really surprised me. It seems that this is an unexpected gain. I have to thank you all. He was really too happy. Originally, he only came to find the power of yin and yang to strengthen the Taiji diagram. Now that he had so much power, if he could obtain this power, then the sword world would undergo earth-shattering changes. How could he not be happy? On the opposite side, the good and evil statue was stunned. You thank me. Could it be that you want this vast power? What a joke! Do you know what you're talking about? Only I can control this power. You can't do anything in front of him. Go to hell. It seemed that the good and evil statue was really angry. The entire ancestral hall shook violently. The star runes between heaven and earth flickered, and the terrifying killing intent rose to the extreme. Then, each star rune formed a sword of slaughter. Millions of blades completely shattered the entire void. The immortal, indestructible battle armor on Lin Xian's body instantly shattered, and cracks appeared on his body again. Too powerful. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be able to resist at all. Even he had to use his super powerful trump card. With a cold snort, he used the heaven-devouring jar. An endless vortex appeared and enveloped him. It devoured the surrounding stars' swords. Useless, kid. You can't devour them no matter how strong you are. I have endless power. The good and evil statue sneered. If you die, your yin and yang taiji will be mine. He rushed over with an unstoppable force, like a hot knife through butter. Even the devouring vortex couldn't completely devour the power on his body. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lin Xian and stretched out his hands. On the left, he grabbed Lin Xian's shoulder, while on the right, he grabbed Lin Xian's head. It was all over. As long as he used a little more strength, the young man in front of him would be torn apart. Sensing this terrifying aura, Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. Instead, he smiled. You're still smiling when you're about to die. Stupid thing. The good and evil statue snorted. However, he had a bad feeling in his heart. What's going on? Normally, even top experts would be terrified when they met him. What's going on with him smiling? Does he really have some kind of trump card? With a cold snort, he exerted strength in his arms, and a terrifying power enveloped Lin Xian. However, in the next moment, he found that his surroundings were spinning. He was no longer in his ancestral hall. Instead, he was in another world. Chapter 5119. Kid, do you think it'll be enough if you spread out your domain and envelop me in it? You're too naive. Your saint domain can't do anything to me. The good and evil statue snorted coldly when he noticed the drastic change in his surroundings. Watch me shatter your saint domain. He slapped out with his saint palm. This palm was incomparably vast and could shatter the 9 heavens and 10 earths. However, after he slapped out, the entire world didn't even have a gust of wind. It was terrifyingly quiet. What's going on? He was stunned. Fantasy! This must be an illusion. Shatter! He attacked again. It was as if the holy world and the hell world attacked together. They kept bombarding. However, it didn't shatter at all. This time, the good and evil statue really collapsed. What kind of world is this? Won't it shatter? One had to know that his full-powered attack just now was enough to shatter a world of stars into pieces. However, that wasn't the case at all. However, it didn't move at all. What kind of place is this? His face was cold as he stared ahead. He shouted coldly, "Kid, where did you teleport me to? This is my world, and I welcome you to come." Lin Xian said with a smile, "Your world? What kind of joke is this? You have such a mysterious star world." He felt that this was even more mysterious than the buried Emperor Star. "Hurry up and leave this place," the evil sun said. The good sun nodded. They soared into the sky, and the light that erupted from their bodies seemed to tear the 9 heavens apart. However, they were in despair. No matter how they attacked the surroundings, there were no cracks at all. They couldn't get out. At this moment, a sneer came from afar. "Don't waste your energy. This place is not something you can imagine. Come over obediently and become our battle servants. Be our underlings. If you're lucky, you can still live." "Damn it, who is it? How dare you challenge me?" The good and evil statue turned around. The next moment, they saw a valley talking. This valley was formed by 4 spirit veins, and there were many stars flickering around it. What astonishing power! There were many spiritual herbs in the valley. They were all natural treasures. He rushed over. The spirit beasts of the 4 spirit valley roared, "Damn it, big guy, come and help us." At this moment, a hand grabbed the sky and covered the earth. The good and evil statue was sent flying, and a terrifying roar sounded. The good and evil statue was sent flying, and cracks appeared on its body. Shatter and reassemble. They roared madly. Was there a peerless expert here? In the next moment, they saw a fire dragon appear. That fire dragon was burning with the flames of hell. It was the Hellfire Dragon. This seems to be the totem of the twins of destiny. The Hellfire Dragon flew over and said coldly, "Brat, why did you bring them here? This guy's life was very tough. It was very difficult to kill him." Xian said, "You know them." The Hellfire Dragon nodded. The Destiny Gemini race was very famous. Back then, a great emperor almost appeared. How could I not recognize him? The most troublesome thing about them is that they can't be killed. That's why I hate them. Brat, hurry up and let us go. Otherwise, you're dead. The good and evil statue roared. Lin Xian sneered. Others might not be able to kill them, but I can. He walked forward. At the same time, a dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in front of him. It was the invincible, great dragon sword soul. "Hell Dragon, hold them down. I want to finish them off with a single strike." This time, Lin Xian guaranteed that there would be no time difference. "Damn it, what kind of sword is this?" Feeling this aura, the good and evil statue roared crazily. He felt danger. "Run." They split up and ran. The Hellfire Dragon held the evil one down, but the evil one was not afraid. As long as the good one could escape, he could revive. The good one ran far away. Lin Xian did not chase. The Hellfire Dragon did not chase. Instead, he sneered. "Stupid thing. There are some places in this world that even I don't dare to go." He dares to go to those barren areas? The evil one still did not understand what was going on. He thought there was hope to escape, but soon he realized that the good one ran back. He seemed to be very frightened. What's going on? What's going on in this world? Why do I feel frightened? He was really crazy. The evil one roared. "Why did you come back? Hurry up and run. Otherwise, we will definitely die." The good one was frightened. "I can't go forward. If I go, I might not be able to come back. What's wrong with this world?" The evil one was shocked. "What's going on?" The Hellfire Dragon snorted. "Stupid thing, you still don't recognize me? Seems like you're just clones. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite." As he spoke, he reached out his hand again. He grabbed forward and suppressed the good one. Then he put the 2 in front of Lin Xian. "Kid, you can deal with them. Also, this is a great merit of mine." Lin Xian smiled. "Don't worry, I'll let you out in advance." But the Hell-Fire Dragon shook his head. "No, I don't want to go out. I want to stay here forever." Lin Xian was shocked. "Didn't you want to go out?" "Humph, I was just not convinced. This world is where everyone dreams of entering. Now that I'm here, how can I go out?" Lin Xian was shocked. What kind of world is this? Even an existence like the Hell-Fire Dragon wanted to come in. The good one and the evil one were shocked too. They exclaimed, "Could it be that world?" The Hell-Fire Dragon slapped the two of them, causing them to crack and shut their mouths. "Kid, hurry up and do it. Although I can suppress them, I'm just a remnant soul. I can't hold on for long. If you let their real bodies come, it'll be dangerous." Lin Xian nodded. He put the two side by side. Lin Xian waved the great dragon, Sword Soul. This time he split the two apart. The indestructible power made the good one and the evil one unable to recover. Lin Xian waved his hand and summoned the Tai Chi diagram. It kept spinning. The good one and the evil one broke down. They roared crazily. The great dragon sword was indestructible. Although they were strong, there were things that could restrain them. Facing an extreme weapon, it was hard for them to fight. Other than that, there was an indestructible great dragon sword. It could also destroy their souls. They didn't expect this kid to have it. They wanted to escape, but it was too late. Their broken bodies turned into pure law power and merged into the Tai Chi diagram. The Tai Chi diagram kept spinning. It became more and more terrifying. Lin Xian's Tai Chi incantation also felt the strong power. Black and white aura surrounded him. At this moment, he was like Kun Peng Zi. How would it compare to Kun Peng Zi's yin-yang law? Lin Xian clenched his fist. He felt that it was not enough. He thought of something. He released Yunue's good one and evil one from the heavens swallowing jar. He let the Hellfire Dragon help again. He split the two apart. Then the power of the two was swallowed by the Tai Chi diagram. The Tai Chi diagram rose again. After Lin Xian used it, he was overjoyed. He had another powerful technique. Chapter 5120. The Fate Clan was even more terrifying. Everyone's hearts had been heavy these days, because there had been an oppressive aura coming from the ancestral hall. They didn't dare to be careless. On this day, a crazy roar came from the ancestral hall, overturning the 9 heavens. Countless palaces and pavilions in the Fate Clan were destroyed. Hundreds of black cracks were left in the sky. Each crack was tens of millions of miles long, dancing like a black dragon. This scene was too terrifying. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Countless people looked up at the sky. They knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing. The Fate Clan leader also rushed out. "What's going on? Why is the ancestor angry again?" He hurriedly rushed in. Then he was suppressed by an invisible force. He even knelt on the ground. "Ancestor, who angered you?" he asked in horror. "Damn it, my doppelganger Dharma idol has been destroyed." "What? How is this possible?" Hearing this, the Fate Clan leader was completely stunned. The previous avatar was only an avatar planted in Yunue's body. It wasn't that powerful. However, the avatar was different. There were only a total of 4 avatars, and they were given to the 4 elders. The avatar was too powerful. No one could subdue it. Now that the avatar had fallen, he felt like he was dreaming. This was impossible. Which elder was it? The Fate Clan leader exclaimed. "The evil good ancestor," said coldly. It was the residence of the 8th elder. The avatar there was destroyed. The Fate Clan leader stood up and said, "Don't worry, ancestor. I'll deal with it now. I'll send countless experts there." After he came out, he gathered a group of experts and said, "Go to the 8th elder's residence. There was a problem there. Bring the enemy over." A group of experts rushed into the sky. The others were also shocked. Who was it? The eighth elder's residence was destroyed. The enemy was too powerful and too arrogant. Some people guessed that it could be the Phoenix clan or the Tianpeng clan. In this Yuhing continent, they couldn't think of how many clans dared to be so arrogant. Buzz! At this moment, a stream of light flew over from afar. Who was it? Everyone shouted angrily. Elder Zhang said, "Don't move, it's one of us." They saw that the person who descended was a broken figure. It was the eighth elder. They exclaimed. The Fate clan leader also walked up and looked ahead. His expression became extremely ugly. At this moment, the eighth elder was in an extremely miserable state. "Old Eight, what's wrong? Who beat you up like this? Your mansion has been destroyed." Who was it? Was he from the Phoenix clan, or was he from another clan? He didn't know. He only knew that he was a young man with heaven-defying strength. What? A young man? The surrounding people were stunned. They had thought of countless possibilities. However, he had never thought that his opponent would be a young man. Was there anyone else other than him? Could it be that there were no veteran experts? The eighth elder said that there were two other demonic beasts, but their strength was not as strong as that young man. Don't you know who he is? The eighth elder said that he was very powerful. His sword technique was very strong and had an indestructible power. Moreover, he had the aura of the Tao of Dragon on him. The dragon image it created was so terrifying that it almost froze my blood. The aura of the Tao of Dragons. Everyone exclaimed. The Destiny clan leader frowned. Could it be the Dragon Prince? Among the young experts of the Dragon clan, there was only one Dragon Prince who was so terrifying. The eighth elder shook his head. I have seen the portrait of the Dragon Prince. It was definitely not him. Then who was it? Everyone was puzzled. Apart from the Dragon Prince, there was such a terrifying existence in the Dragon clan. Why didn't they know? Forget it. No matter who he was, his strength was limited no matter how strong he was. We must catch him. There was a possibility that he had something extraordinary on him. The eighth elder gritted his teeth and said, "Don't worry. Although I was defeated, my avatar would not be defeated." The Destiny clan leader said, "Unfortunately, the avatar was destroyed. We are sending people to suppress him." What? The eighth elder exclaimed. Even the ancestor's avatar was defeated? He was stunned. He knew the avatar's strength very well. Suppressing him would be a piece of cake. However, it was destroyed now. How did the other party do it? Was the other party's strength so terrifying? At the same time, his heart was bleeding. This was because a large portion of its power had been suppressed by the avatar Dharma idol. Otherwise, he would have the strength of a saint. How could he be defeated by the other party? Now that the avatar was defeated, he was afraid that part of his cultivation strength was gone. Would he never be able to become a saint in this lifetime? The eighth elder was about to go crazy. Clan leader, I have to go back too. That kid is too strange. I might be able to help. The eighth elder ignored his injuries and wanted to go back. He just wanted to regain the cultivation that he had lost. These people quickly moved out. At the same time, the eighth elder's residence was completely destroyed. The people around all went crazy. They felt that the ancestor statue that they had been worshipping had disappeared. Even Yunyu, who was collecting resources, was stunned. The ancestor's aura was gone. How was this possible? To be honest, he knew that Lin Xian was terrifying. However, he did not expect that he could destroy the ancestor's avatar in such a short time. It seemed that he had to hurry up, because it would not be long before the clan headquarters sent a peerless expert to suppress them. Lin Xian was still in the ancestral hall. After the good and evil avatar was destroyed, there was still endless power in the surroundings. Those were the power that the eighth elder's lineage had been worshipping for a long time. It was really too huge. Previously, Lin Xian was torn apart by this power. Now these powers were ownerless. He snorted and opened the sword world. using the swallowing heaven jar to devour these powers. Then he entered the sword world. Damn, this kid has so much power. The Hellfire Dragon was shocked. The 4 spirit beasts of the 4 Spirit Valley also exclaimed. This power was really too shocking. Indeed, this power was equivalent to the power of several worlds. At this moment, it was already able to affect the sword world in a certain area. Previously, the sword world only recovered from the 4 Spirit Valley. With the addition of the Life Spirit Spring, it was different now. Within a radius of 100 miles, there was a certain degree of recovery. This made Lin Xian happy. He sat down cross-legged and recovered his exhausted strength. Lin Xian walked out of the sword world. At the same time, he waved his hand and split the entire ancestral hall into 2. The surrounding people were so scared that they knelt on the ground. Was the ancestral hall that they usually worshipped also broken? These people roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Noisy. With a wave of his hand, the Taiji diagram appeared and the yin and yang sword light pierced through these people. These people were terrified. What kind of power was this? Why did it feel so similar to their power? There was the powerful holy power of light and also the terrifying power of darkness. In an instant, the surrounding people were all destroyed and turned into a bloody mist. Chapter 51:21. Young Master. At this time, Yunhua also walked over. She looked around expressionlessly. Lin Xian said, "Let's go to the next place with clones." Yunhua was surprised. She still had some resources to collect. However, she did not dare to resist and could only quickly agree. Yes, young master. He rose into the air and flew into the distance. Lin Xian waved his hand and summoned Little White, the Toad, and the Crimson Dragon. They also soared into the sky. He came to the front and grabbed Yunue's shoulder. "Show me the way. You're too slow." After saying that, a pair of black wings appeared behind him. They flapped gently and tore through the 9 heavens. Yunue was stunned. She felt a huge force that wanted to tear her body apart. In the next moment, she found a force coming from the palm on her shoulder, forming a barrier to protect her. Looking at the scene on both sides, Yunue could not believe it. What kind of speed was this? It was several times faster than her limit. This made her even more shocked by Lin Xian, even if the Fate Clan found him and wanted to kill him. With his speed, it was not a problem for him to escape successfully. Finally, they arrived at the place where another doppelganger Dharma Laksana was located. This time, it was the place where the 3rd elder was. Who was it? The 3rd elder's residence also shouted angrily. Lin Xian did not say anything. He waved his hand and a battle broke out. On the other side, a group of powerhouses descended from the sky in the 8th elder's residence. Seal the area. With a roar, endless barriers appeared around them. Countless powerhouses scattered in all directions. They sealed the entire territory. The 8th elder also came. Her face was pale as she looked down and gritted her teeth. "Kid, get out here." There was no response. He shouted angrily, "Search." Those powerhouses quickly went down to search. Soon they came back. There was no one but the elder. Damn it, did he let that brat escape? Damn it, the 8th elder did not believe it and personally searched. He found that it was true. There was no one here. More importantly, the resources they had left behind had also disappeared. Damn it, chase him. He can't have escaped far. This is our territory. I don't believe that he can escape. These people began to chase and attack from all directions. A few days later, the 3rd elder's residence was in ruins. The 3rd elder didn't escape this time. He was slashed to the point that his heart and soul were completely destroyed. Even at the moment of his death, he could not believe that a young man could be so terrifying. The clone technique of the 3rd elder's mansion was also brought into the sword world by Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian and the Hellfire Dragon attacked together, suppressing and killing it. The power obtained from the sacrifice was all absorbed by the sword world. The power of yin and yang that the Dharma Laksana avatar possessed was absorbed by Lin Xian's Tai Chi diagram. Lin Xian felt that his Tai Chi diagram had improved once again, which made him happy. His yin-yang law had become even more terrifying than before. Lin Xian clenched his fists. He had a feeling that he might be able to break through to the great sage level. He had to get his hands on the remaining 2 Dharma Laksana avatars. Perhaps he could use this opportunity to break through and become a great sage. Everyone in the Fate clan was waiting for news. The Fate clan leader's eyes flickered. Was there still no news from the 8th elder? A few days had passed. However, he wasn't worried. He had brought enough people with him this time. If he met that kid, he would definitely not be able to escape. However, at this moment, a roar came from the ancestral hall again. The whole world shattered again. The people of the Fate clan had all gone crazy. What could make the ancestor so crazy? The Fate clan leader's face changed drastically. Could it be that something happened to the 8th elder again? He was so scared that he quickly entered the ancestral hall and knelt on the ground. The ancestor roared crazily. Damn it, my 2nd Dharma Laksana avatar was destroyed. This time, it was the 3rd elder's residence. What are you doing? Do you want me to change the clan leader? The Fate clan leader was stunned after hearing this. Impossible, he exclaimed. I have already sent countless experts there. Damn it. Did that kid attack the 3rd elder's mansion again? Could it be that his target is the Dharma Laksana avatar? Thinking of this possibility, he was shocked. No one had ever dared to be so bold. Quick! Inform the 8th elder and the others to go to the 3rd elder's territory and kill him. At the same time, inform the remaining 12th elder and the 15th elder to fight with all their strength. When the 12th elder received the news, his face became extremely ugly. It was too late. He realized that the young man mentioned by the clan leader was already in front of him. Lin Xian attacked fiercely. Previously, he had obtained the endless power of the sacrifice, so he didn't hold back anymore. Now that the sword world had become stronger, he could use the power of the heaven-devouring jar and the great dragon sword spirit. This time, in order to end the battle quickly, he quickly used the great dragon sword spirit and the heaven-devouring jar. Therefore, this battle ended very quickly. After devouring the 3rd Dharma Laksana avatar, he obtained the power of the sacrifice again. Lin Xian soared into the sky and left quickly, heading to the 15th elder's residence. Damn it, the 8th elder and the others went crazy when they came. This method is too fast. They were already chasing with all their strength, but the 12th elder's residence was still destroyed. No, I have to hurry to the 15th elder's residence. This time we are closer. These people quickly attacked. Finally, they arrived at the 15th elder's residence. The 15th elder was also facing a great enemy. Previously, he had received news that someone wanted to collect the Dharma Laksana avatar, which made him unable to believe it. However, when he discovered that the 2 Dharma Laksana avatar had been destroyed, he was completely stunned. It seemed that he was indeed in danger, so she quickly took defensive measures. Countless array formations flickered, and all the experts were mobilized by him. In the next few days, he discovered that the 8th elder and the others had also arrived, and they had brought along a powerful force. Countless experts of the Destiny race arrived, blotting out the sky. The 15th elder heaved a sigh of relief. Great, he smiled in relief. With this force, there was absolutely no danger. In the sky, a stream of light streaked across the sky. It was unbelievably fast. It was Lin Xian who was flying. Yun Yue said, "Young master, our actions here must have alerted the headquarters of the family." The 12th elder had received the news. The 15th elder was even more on guard. Perhaps the family had already mobilized endless power to form an inescapable net there. What do you want to say? Lin Xian glanced at her. Yunyue took a deep breath and said carefully, Young master, 3 Dharma Laksana avatar are enough. Why do you have to take the risk? Indeed, in her opinion, this was a very unwise choice. However, Lin Xian shook his head. You don't understand. The Dragon Prince, Kun Pingzi, and I are all competing for time. Whoever enters the Supreme Sage realm first will have an absolute advantage. Now that I have absorbed the power of 3 Dharma Laksana avatar, I am only 1 step away from the Supreme Sage realm. As long as I can get the 4th Dharma Laksana avatar, I can enter the Supreme Sage realm in the shortest time possible. At that time, I can fight the Dragon Prince to the death. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.